Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. What is going on, everybody? The time has finally descended upon us. The Fenix V2 Block 1 is here, and we are here live right where we left off in Auckland, New Zealand. And I gotta say, what better route to test some new updates for the V2 Block 1 than taking this Fenix A320 down on a hardcore RNP AR approach to Queenstown, which I've never flown into in the sim, never been to in real life. It is going to be quite the approach. We got a little bit of a longer en route time, about an hour 30-ish, which will give us plenty of time to review the charts. We'll look over all the charts and do that stuff en route, but I am super excited. The first thing I got to say, I've taken this airplane off. I did one lap in the pattern with the V2 update. First thing that comes to mind, yeah, the flying feels great. There's some new tweaks, some new systems. Frames. The FPS, the performance on this airplane it's awesome. Like, I don't even know what to compare it to. I would say it's like comparable to the PMDG, but I honestly think it's a little bit better than the PMDG as of right now, at least on my rig. I'm running a 3090. I haven't tweaked any of my graphical settings, so everything's pretty much on ultra still. 3090 graphics card. I am a little bottlenecked CPU, but from what I did on that first little test flight, the frames are awesome. So we're gonna get this thing fired up here. Glad to see everybody in the chat. Mike P, Blue Bear, Aviate, Digital Merc, Lauren's in the house. Good to see ya. Gustavo's here. Good deal. Caleb W, liking the paint indeed. Fubar, good to see you, my friend. Oh, Fubar, I forgot to add your things. Maybe I'll do it en route. But the charts were hinting at better FPS than PMDG. Caleb, I haven't specifically pitted it up against the PMDG on my rig, but I believe it. Because I'm telling you guys, when we get in this thing, we fly around, and you can just tell by the camera movement and everything, it's just extremely smooth. And when I was panning between like cockpit view and then coming down to the wing view or whatever it may be when I was flying around, just absolutely the increase of performance is my number one aspect. Now there's a whole changelog we'll go over. We'll look at some things and we'll see if we can maybe adjust some other things or test some things out. Now, depending on how this stream goes, you know, whenever the Fenix releases, sometimes we have to see if we can break it, right? So we may have to do a second stream later today trying to break the airplane, seeing what we can throw at it. So anyway, Brian Gulbis, welcome to Private Pilot. Glad to have you on board. ! Welcome. And JP gifting 5 memberships to the channel. Appreciate you, JP. Thank you so much for being so kind and gifting 5 memberships out here to the channel. Dougal says, I'm getting excellent performance. Indeed, Dougal. It is definitely out there as far as the performance goes. So, like I said, longer en route flight. Let's get this airplane fired up. We're right where we left off in Auckland, New Zealand. We've got a lovely Queenstown scenery courtesy of Any Builds. They sent me this over last night. They knew that we were doing a little New Zealand tour. I said, hey, check out our Queenstown scenery. So you're going to be able to see that. And I'm telling you, it looks really good. The terminal over there, everything is just fantastic. Anything Any Builds does is like, I don't think I've had a negative thing to say other than frames on LAX was a little hard on release. Other than that, nothing else. I can't really have any, I don't have any negative feedback for any build. So here we go. Let's fire up this airplane. Yes, the sounds, Jet Kid, thanks for reminding me. There have been quite a few tweaks to the sounds, and you're going to see a couple tweaks here as we power up this airplane. So I'm going to try to, I'm not going to talk too much here. Let's go right into our normal flows, all right? Well, I can't see the battery push buttons. Rip. AJ Funari gifting 10 memberships to the channel. AJ, appreciate that, man. Very generous, very kind of you, gifting over 10 more memberships to the channel. I'm going to have to pause the alert box here for a little bit. AJ, that's too kind. Thank you. And I was thinking about you when I got my coffee this morning, my friend. I just got a straight up, it's a rainy, overcast day here in Georgia, so I got myself a straight up cappuccino with a little vanilla. That's it. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, so let's go into our 25.6. We got our volts. We're going to come back and we're going to test our batteries here in a little bit, but let's go up our Captain overhead flow. We'll go crew supply on, ground control, CVR test. There we go. We'll put Captain in the Captain switch. 8 ears. We'll go ahead and get that into alignment phase. I'll put that on the status, position 1. That looks good. Strobe goes into auto, nav position 1. No smoking auto. Arm the emergency exit lights. Everything looks good on our mid overhead panel here. Let's test our fire. Glad I triggered that. I triggered the coffee report. AJ, you sure do, man. You sure do. Thanks again for that generous donation of 10 gifted memberships, making this YouTube's greenest airline indeed. All right, let's get some more cockpit lighting up. I set the timing to 6:30 in the morning. So we're going to have a sunrise here on our departure. But I haven't actually tested the V2 with if there's any new lighting stuff going on here. So you're kind of seeing it for the first time that I'm seeing it. But all so far, so good here. Cannot wait. Let's get everything else lightened up there. That looks good. That's aligning. We'll come down into the McDo. We'll go ATSU. We'll go AOC. We'll get a flight plan initialization done. We'll go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and request the boarding process here pretty soon. They fixed vertical speed being available with ADIRS off. Really? Man, how'd they find some of these bugs? I have no idea. I have no idea. But we will go. The good thing too about having a little bit longer en route cruise is we can go over the changelog. It's quite the hefty changelog, so that'll be interesting to go over too. All right, we're operating as Air New Zealand ANZ 357. We'll put that in right here. Cost index is going to be, let's do 75 on this one. Our cruise altitude that we filed 360. All right, IRS and NIT, we're going to go ahead and let it just align on the way it is. NZAA departing, we're going to depart 23 left this morning. And our departure, isn't sunrise that far south, like 9 in the morning? I don't know. According to Microsoft, it's supposed to be coming up here pretty soon. So we'll see. Why is it not showing? It doesn't show my, it's just weird when I do that on there. It doesn't really show the departure. The Lever 1 Papa is what we're on. So let's select the Lever 1 Papa, and we're going out to the Lever. No, we're going out to the Levra. Capi transition. There we go. All right, so that's in the box. Let's go ahead and scroll all the way down here. Do you plan to take off quick or take your time because I got 30 minutes training? Hey, Christy, we're doing it real time, my friend, real time. New Zealand, Queenstown, arrival. This is where it's going to get juicy. Right now, I think the last winds that we were looking at, were going to favor runway 5. So I want to do the RNAV Zulu to runway 5. And we're on the Elru 2 Alpha arrival. Approach via Ibabu. We're going to insert that. That's going to get our flight plan looking extra juicy. We'll go constraint mode, hit the magic barrel, ref key 1014 in the box. Then we'll go ahead and step through this real quick. Then I think we can start the boarding process. Oh yeah, look at that RNP AR. That is going to be absolutely juicy. So that is all set up. I'll put this over on the flight plan page for right now. We don't need our DCDUs. Everything else is done. Let's come down here with Squawking 2000. And quick do a hydraulic check. And engines, we got our oil. Beautiful. Everything else looks good. We'll come over to the EFB. Don't need you. We could get our departure perf page up. And let's go ahead and request the boarding process from SimBrief.
Boarding requested.
SimBrief, whatever it's called. What is this thing called? GSX. Nope, we're already on board with the crew.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, you can already tell the sun is getting ready to peak up. No airways or waypoints in between. They're already loaded per the initialization when I pulled the route. Christopher says, remember you have enhanced ground charts in the EFB now? With real-time position. Let's take a look at that. Let's go Navigraph. Let's load this up here. Let's import from SimBrief. Auckland, New Zealand. This is going to be, and the weather is absolutely beautiful today,
Passengers
too.
boarding starting.
All right. Let's see here. Where is our 10-9? I don't think I have those installed yet. But that looks pretty good. I mean, it looks the same as it was before. Now, I have on the Navigraph Charts app, I have the enhanced ground charts, but I don't need any of those. But that's where that's where we are. 2-3 left. We're gonna taxi out Bravo Alpha 1 to 2-3 left, and then let's go from there. Let's go My flight. No, I don't want to dump that. Route page. There we go. This is kind of an overview of what we're doing today. There we go. I like the en route charts. All right, cool. That looks good, but I want to keep it on the 10.9 page. No ATC on, so we're going to just go ahead and do our cruise altitude in the main window up here, which is 360, right? So let's put 360 in the box. It's on the route page. Oh, if you zoom in on the airport, on the route page, if you zoom in. Oh, really? Hold on. That's just cheeky breeky cheating mode, though. We sure do. Look at that. Talk about cheating mode. Enhanced ground taxi charts with real-time position. Well, that's fancy. That is some fancy, fancy taxi charts there. This is V2, Pedro. This is the V2 Block 1. Updated fonts and layouts on the PFD NDE cam seems to bring it to the next level. Yes. New fonts, which you guys have great eyes, because initially I thought, well, maybe it looks all right, maybe it's just a little off. But then once I was shown the difference, then you can't unsee it. But this looks really good with the updated fonts, for sure. A little bit thicker line right here. Now I cannot wait. Just wait until this puppy says EPR. Get a little EPR bug up there. Come out here into a little engine view. Engine pylon looking really good. Texture's looking extra juicy. Passengers are boarding. We go ahead and we've got our baggage process loading. Let's come over here. Let's watch. This is a good shot right here. Everything else is ready to go. We'll fire up the APU in just a minute and we'll be out of here. Yes, Jason, this is the Fenix V2. Looks like the OANs. Yeah, exactly, Seth. That's what it is. That's what it is. OANs. EPR not to be confused with ERP. You're right, Zach. Performance, fantastic. Now, with, obviously I'm on VATSIM 2 right now, so you're losing like 10 frames, but it's really good. When I was off VATSIM, I mean, flying around in the pattern, just unbelievably smooth. I'm curious to see how it handles here. Now, one thing Fenix did recommend, and I don't know if you guys have this or not. I didn't have this on my stick, but your sensitivity settings on your side stick, you want to make sure they are linear and start straight fresh with your side stick settings. So I am running no curves, no sensitivity curves, reactivity, none of that. Now I am running the FSprojects side stick. Got the information on that below. Basically, this is a Thrustmaster Warthog base with a real legit, like a real world Airbus stick on top of it from FSprojects. So I've always run linear, but I know several of you have run a little bit of curve depending on what hardware you have. In the changelog, it does recommend that you start from scratch with just doing a linear, and then if it's still got issues, then maybe you can tweak it from there. But the one takeoff that I did, the one lap in the pattern that I did, straight linear on the side stick, felt absolutely phenomenal. And in fact, I had to come down to my McDo page here, and I went into config, I went into controls, and I scrolled over to side stick, and I reduced my null zone to 1%. It was at 3%, so I reduced it to 1%, and it seems to be much better with that. So we'll go from there. Now, I don't know what this max rudder null zone is. I have a 10% in there. I'm actually kind of curious to know what that does. Like I said, depending on how this stream pans out, hopefully everything goes nice and smooth. We may fire up a second stream this afternoon and try to break this airplane. We'll put it to the limit. We'll just do kind of like we did a long time ago. We'll do crosswind limits at maximum, kind of tweak the null zones around, try to see how the handling really has changed. If you guys remember, we did a stream like that not too long ago on this, and we determined that there was some crosswind handling issues with the aircraft, especially on touchdown. So I think we'll do that later today. We're going to get through this stream first. This stream is kind of a proving run, right? See how it works, see if there's any CTDs. Hopefully not, knock on wood. Make sure everything runs nice and smooth. And then, like we like to do here on the V1 channel, is we'll try to break this beautiful airplane. So, but I just thought I'd put that out there for y'all. Let's go init B. Our block fuel is already on board, which is 6.6. Hold on, that's sus. Whoa, there, that was a big old, that was a little lag out on my end. Let's go over here, let's go to the block fuel. I think we have a situation developing here. Weight and balance page. Doesn't rudder nose on just means the same IE and tell you if defected won't do anything? I think so, Chaos. But I wonder why... Oh, my weights are in kg? That might be why. Hold on. I have 6,600 pounds. I think I need more than that. I know I need more than that. Hold on. Wait a second. What's happening here? SimBrief never loaded on this, did it? Yeah, it looks like SimBrief never actually loaded this. Maybe it wasn't linked. That's alright. We have 146. Let's do it this way. We'll do it the old school way. We'll just load it instantly. 146. And our fuel. No, it's not in kg. I don't think my SimBrief actually plan came through. So let me double check it here. This good thing we verified this before we blast it off. That would have been something. Have to return because we don't have any fuel. That would be a 250-hour move for sure. 146 passengers. Block fuel 16.9. Yeah, we would have been in some serious trouble. 16.9. And what do we have for payload over there? Payload was 30,000. That seems like a lot. Basically, we're going for an estimated takeoff of 144. And let's see, plan zero fuel was... It's already out, Jason. It's already out. Estimated zero fuel, 127.6. So... Close enough, 6.5. We'll go ahead and load aircraft. Instant on that. There we go. Now that's all done. Oh, we didn't even start the APU. Let's go ahead and see if there's any APU sound differences. Now that our fuel is on board, let's go ahead and spin up the APU from the outside view. Christy, I already did that. It didn't work. Maybe I reset all. Maybe not. I'll have to go back. Normally it works. It might have just been user error. It's fine. Willie Thornton, welcome, man. We will survive. We voted instantly. We're good to go. Is it possible to sync the loading with GSX? As of right now, no. Not by default. Oh, I didn't realize we had the tiller cam open the whole time. My bad. Oops. Still missing the IEs. I agree, man. Definitely missing the IEs. If you installed, you should re-enter your SimBrief ID and the Hoppy in the app. Well, Christy, where were you 20 minutes ago, my friend? That sounds pretty good, though. That APU, that sounds pretty darn good. But it always sounded good. I think I'm just having a confirmation bias. That sounds pretty darn good, though. That sounds pretty good. All right, block fuel 16.9. We got to do some work here real quick. We're a little bit behind. It's okay. 16.9, 1 decimal point. And our zero fuel, we have to do it over here. We've got 129.3 and 29.5. That's going to go there. Perf speeds, we're going to do this manually. IEs are way sexier for sure. I totally agree. In due time, though, right? In due time. That's what they're telling us. All right, we're going to do NZAA 2-3 left, dry, optimum force toga, yes. Anti-ice off, packs on, sync final, sync live, calculate. Let's give us a flaps 2, 25, 35, 35. No flex. That's set. Ready to go. We're going to push... what are we going to do? We're going to go VOR, VOR. That's on. That's on. Let's do some flows here. Beacon light can come on. External power come off. AFU bleed can come off. Seatbelt sign will be on before pushback. Before start checklist. Windows, doors, and slides. Close and arm. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake is on. Before start checklist is complete. Let's prepare for pushback and departure. We'll go nose right, tail left.
Contact 495, one pushing back facing it.
25, 35, 35. Crisis averted.
We are ready for pushback.
We'll survive. V2 was off by, or VR was off by 10 knots. We got it. We do have a message here. What's the message? Probably just a load sheet. Receive messages.
Departure checks completed. Bypass
Added 4 standbys. Good deal. I like the New Zealand accent GSX. I do. FCU has backglow. Yes, it does. Yeah, the lighting. I'm seeing the lighting tweaks here for the first time as it's dark. But yeah, the night lighting looks awesome. And again, this reminds me of a 319. I really hope they keep the old school, like, incandescent bulb feel when they've released the 319. I'm so pumped for the 319. I know Fenix V2 is cool, 321 is cool, IAEs are even cooler than all of those. But you know what's cooler than all of that combined is a 319 with IAEs. Cannot wait. How can V2 equal VR? Fighter, you can have the same number for all three. I've actually seen that happen multiple times. You can have the same V1, VR, and V2 speed. All right, we need to go nose right, tail left is what I said, right? Let's do it. Oh yeah, I gotta do the Fenix situation here. Chocks and cones, GPU.
Release parking brakes.
Stand by. Brakes released, clear to push.
Commencing push.
Performance is phenomenal.
All engines clear.
Now, again, VATSIM takes like 10 FPS, but still, 10 FPS and streaming, and it's still buttery smooth. Now, we'll see here, especially as we back off from this terminal. CRT screen. Apparently, Fenix are investigating Black McDoo bug. You're affected. McDoo's in op. Romulus. Good PyRep there. Do you remember doing anything in the box that triggered that?
Traffic is due at 2409 airborne.
The changelog is so long I need 20 minutes to read it all. TV flight. I'm going to read it through in cruise here. We got about an hour of cruise time to just kind of sit back. We'll step through systematically the changelog because it is quite hefty. All right, it is quite hefty. Mix sesh. This airplane, Fenix, what does it retail for? It's like 50, is it $50? Mix sesh. I tell you right now, though, if you like Airbus and you like Microsoft Flight Simulator, you will not regret a single cent of the money you spend on this add-on. So it is probably my number one, bang for your buck, like quality airplane add-on you can buy for Microsoft. €50. There you go. Thank you. About 60 USD. So I'm telling you, it's you will not regret a single cent spent on this airplane. Do you think it's feasible to start a pilot career around 30? Oh, absolutely, Lucas. Absolutely, man. What I do want to do is I want to turn the cabin lights off. So I always forget how to get the easiest way here. We go sim settings. There we go. And then we go cabin lights off. I'm going to leave the cabin visibility on because I want to see if it affects performance at all. All right, brakes are set. Clear or disconnect.
We have a good engine start.
No, we don't, but we're going to start them right now. All right, APU bleeds are on. Since we have 486 people here, let's start number 1 first so everybody gets triggered. Here we go. Starting engine 1. Engine mode to ignition start. And I'm going to try to be quiet on this one. Let's see if there's any update on the engine start sounds. Here we go. Turn in 1.
Unlocking gear. truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Not bad. You can definitely, there's definitely a difference in the pitch of the startup, but still, their CFMs, they're not as juicy as definitely not as juicy as an IE startup. I tell you what, let's do an engine start from external. Should we do that? I don't think we've ever done that. Don't mind that. Actually, well, since we're looking at that, let's just go ahead and do it from the internal. CFM just don't sound like leaps. No, the CFMs are pretty weak on the startup for sure. Nothing will beat that leap startup. A leap startup is pretty unbeatable. You can hear it turning in there. Yeah, they definitely tweaked it. I can hear some more rumbling going on. It's good. It's good. I flew into Queenstown in fog back in February. This is one hell of an approach to look forward to. Matthew, I'm super excited. Luckily, we've got really nice weather today. It's beautiful weather. Beautiful weather in Queenstown, so no fog, but it should make for some nice views on the approach in there. All right, well, 1014 is set. We'll go ahead and leave it. Train on ND, does that work? Oh! Is this a little peaks mode situation going on here? I think that's new. I'm pretty sure Fenix didn't have peaks mode before. This will come in really handy once we get down onto our approach. Let's go ahead and see if the flap sounds have changed at all. We're doing a flaps 2. Flaps D. Look how smooth the animations are. You see that? Just buttery smooth. Everything is buttery smooth. On the perf page, number to flaps up 0.9, NAB 0.9. We're supposed to base the trim on. Use the trim on your zero fuel weight CG. I think that's what you're going to get an after set. Alright, flaps 2, that's good. Speed brakes are arm. Let's go ahead and kill the APU. That's coming off. Taxi lights coming off. Brakes released. Let's taxi on out. Bravo, Bravo 4. Ooh, the sun is just peaking. Two notes was to turn turbulence back to medium. We'll see. I've always left it on realistic. I've never run into an issue yet with any add-on, even though they say to turn it down. We'll see what happens. If it gets obnoxious, then we'll turn it down. I don't tend to change things in my settings unless something is broken. And turn the ice on, correct, but we're not going to be encountering any icing today, that's for sure. All right, let's check a brake check. Pressure 0 on the triple indicator. That looks good. Let's see how this taxiing handles out here. The engine sounds definitely different. Oh, look at that view. Smash down the like button for New Zealand sunrises. I mean, it's just like taxiing through butter right now. Very nice on the taxi. Wow, this is going to be one hell of a departure. All right, we'll straighten her up. We'll do our flight control checks. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Rudder disconnect still doesn't quite work. Well, I mean it does, but it's a Microsoft thing. That's going there. That's going there. Auto. TARA, that's going to go auto and on. Ding the cabin. Flight attendants prepare for takeoff. Let's get back on center line, shall we? Look at all the blackbirds. This is a fleet of blackbirds today. We need 320 likes for Toga. We only have 184 and 532 watching. Ouch, you're right, Christy. I tell you what, 320 likes will do a Toga from the external view, because the external sounds definitely have some change to them. So, if you want to see me go Toga from the external view, smash down that like button. We need 320 likes before takeoff because we're in an A320. We can do it. Listen to those rumbles down there. That rumbling sound is nice. I want to look at wing view, but this is, I mean, this is real world view right here. Like, look at the sun coming up on the horizon. That is just beautiful. Airbus SR-71. That's what it feels like. The Blackbird fleet. Let me like this on both my alt accounts. Hey, whatever you got to do. We're getting close. Like is not the heart. Yeah. How many for Flex 69? No, we don't flex on this channel. We're not saving engines out here. Were those IEs? No, Kinetic. They are CFMs, my friend. CFMs. Unfortunately. When the IEs drop, though, it will be mayhem. That is VATSIM traffic, Orange. Wow. Ooh, just give you a little teaser. Just a little teaser on the sound there. PFD looks really good. I like the PFD. 7 more likes. Auckland traffic here, New Zealand. Or New Zealand 357, we're going to line up on way 23 left, Auckland. We're going to take it all the way down to the end here. Let's line up and wait. So that's coming on, that's coming on, that's coming on. And we'll just leave those. Actually, we'll just turn them all on. What the heck? They're all coming on now for line up and wait. The ground taxiing? Hold on. The ground friction. Hold on. I'm going to stop the airplane here. It's rolling way better. It just felt so natural that I've kind of forgot to say anything about it. Let's see. Look at that. Not touching the thrust. We're already starting to roll. Look at that. That is a massive fix or tweak. 146,000 pounds. Definitely would be rolling here. And look at that. We're rolling. We're slowly accelerating with no thrust. Very nicely done there from Fenix to tweak that. Because if you guys remember, I was using like 40% to taxi sometimes. So, and even with the CFMs, the IEs run away from you a little bit more than the CFMs, honestly. But the CFMs, still, you're still going to be rolling here at idle thrust, 146,000 pounds or whatever you are. But that's a crucial fix. It felt so realistic that I didn't even think about it until we got all the way to the runway. All right, Brett Smith, thank you for becoming a commercial pilot. Welcome to the channel. What do we got here? Did we hit 320? We hit 337 likes. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for the support. Thank you for playing along. And part of my throttle just fell out. That's interesting. I'll have to secure that in cruise. Screw came off my reverser level. All right. We'll spool them up 50, and then we're going to go Toga from the outside view. Look at this. You guys ready? Yoga's in chat. New Zealand, or Auckland traffic, New Zealand 357, pardon, 23 left. Spool them up 50. Max volume. Yoga's in chat. Here we go. Oh my. Oh my gosh. Man, Toga SRS runway auto thrust blue. Let's get back on center line. That was too cool. 80 knots thrust set, 100 knots check. V1. Rotate. Woo, positive rate. Gear up. She came right up. 15 knot quartering headwind. Navin. Oh, feels good. Fly with. That rotation felt very good. Felt like a much more modernized Airbus. But let's watch our power performance settings here and climb out. Roughly, once we clean up, we should be about 10 degrees, 250 knots. Thrust reduction from window view, I think so. Oh, yeah. All right, we're thrust, climb, nav, F speed. Let's go flaps 1. It's a deeper tone on the CFMs. Listen to those engines. Oh, I had V-Pilot muted the whole time. That's my bad. The fly-by-wire definitely feels different. It's not as spongy on rotation. It was not as spongy. That may not be the best word to use. Flap 0 after takeoff checklist. But look at the sun coming through the fan, the N1 there through the backside. Oh, that's so cool. But I guess what I would say is in the previous V1, the rotation, especially during the blend mode, from going from ground mode to flight mode, there's a blending that happens, and it felt more spongy. Now it feels much smoother in the transition. That's really the only way I can describe it. You'll probably pick up on it when you do your first takeoff as well. Again, this flight is more of a proving flight. We're going to see how everything handles more systems-wise, and then later today we'll try to break this airplane. We'll turn up the crosswinds. We'll maybe throw some failures at it. Who knows? Well, let's hand fly this out here. Let's just, I mean, I know the fly-by-wire is going to work like it always does, but we'll roll in the bank there. It's going to hold up to 33 degrees angle of bank. That's good. Now let's test, I'm going to go past our course line here real quick. Turn the brightness down a little bit. It's starting to get blasted out. All right, so now I'm going to roll in past 33 degrees angle of bank, and I'm going to let go of the side stick, and it should come back to 33 and hold it. So we're going to go past 33 degrees. I'm going to let go of the side stick. Nice and smooth. And it's going to go right in about 33 degrees and hold it. Look at that. So that always worked, but it's always good just to kind of see what kind of if they've done any other tweaking here on the fly-by-wire. But everything looks pretty good, feels pretty good. Again, I'm running linear. No curves on my side stick. Looking really good. Let's go ahead and clean up the airplane. What did I say? 10 degrees, 250 knots. That's just about what we're doing. So power performance seems to be looking good. We're going to climb thrust.
Oh, traffic 195 and up super left 20 minutes.
Yeah, 10 and 250. It's doing good as far as power performance is concerned.
Awesome realistic sounds, Holly smoke speeds.
Albert 1, good to see you, man. Thanks for the $5 bank angle check. I couldn't agree more with you, man. The sounds are definitely cleaned up. They just they sound so much cleaner. Let's go autopilot 1 because I want to enjoy some of these views here. Look, we're about to go through 10,000 feet, so you're going to see an AOA change here. Let's listen to it and see the change happen. Oh, Mike P, your bank angle didn't come through? I'm sorry, man. Let me scroll back. Oh my goodness. Mike P. 35 minutes ago, you dropped a $50 bank angle check and you just now said something, Mike P. Stand by. Why didn't it come through? I don't see why it didn't. It should have.
I saw Team Vodka drop to $50 bomb during the 747 stream. Can't let him out to me. Mike
P dropping a $50 bank angle check.
I saw Team Vodka drop to $50.
Now it's gonna play. It's gonna play the whole time.
Can't let him out to
Mike
me.
P, appreciate a massive $50 bank angle check. Dono, appreciate you. Perfect timing. Vodka's here now. Yeah, can't let him outdo you, Mike. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm putting that right towards my lightning recovery fund from our lightning damage. It's gonna be we have quite the replacement situation happening right now. I appreciate you, Mike P. That is very kind of you. Thank you for the support on the channel. It's been quite the ride, man. Quite the ride, Mike. I appreciate you. And thank you again, Albert1, for getting the sounds dono in there. $5 bank angle check for sure, man. The sounds are much cleaner. You guys heard that the light switches are much cleaner too. Wind noise is up here a little bit. Everything looks good on the overhead. Let's go ahead and set standard. So it doesn't fly like crap anymore? Well, you know, I haven't had any sims on a 767, so I wouldn't be able to tell you how it actually flies on the 320, but just messing. V2 plus 10, good to see you, man. No, I never thought it flew like crap, being honest with you. So, I mean, you have to make sure your expectations are that of such of a desktop simulator for $60 versus a, you know, $15, $20, $50,000 simulator or a multi-million-dollar jet. Because even the simulators, newsflash, even our level D sims that we train in are probably about, I'd say 85 to 90% feel of the real thing, depending on what year sim you're in. So, the crusty COVID window effects are great. Scott, I know, look at these, there's some serious COVID on this window. Maybe we need to go back to this one here. Oh, there's COVID all over this window. Man, did they make this more dirty? It almost looks like there's 2 panes of glass. Look at that. There is. Do you guys see that? So, you know, on a real window, you have the outer window, then you have like the little plastic-ish window here on the inside. Wow. I never noticed that before. You can really see there's actual depth to this window view. I mean, that is awesome. Someone needs to get a cleaning crew out here. I mean, no kidding. I mean, how many frames is all this COVID costing me? It's just some seriously dirty window. Like, it's actually kind of gross now that you guys pointed it out. I can't unsee it. Alberto, a.k.a. Berto. I like it. Linear is too sensitive. I'm running linear right now, and I didn't have any issues. Now, again, I urge you to check back later this afternoon. We're going to do a real flight test. We're going to stress test or break the V2 Block 1 here. That'll be later today. Today, though, or this stream, rather, is more of a proving ground. You always got to have a baseline. So we need to do a baseline flight, A to B, make sure everything is nice and smooth on a normal operation. Mike P., why didn't you set your barrel ref, man? SCDs for you, me, and the jump seat are set across the board. 1, 2, 3. Things are looking good. But, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but for me, just moving camera views around, very, very smooth in the transitions. Really nice window frames, too. Yeah, the window frames are great. Now, we can turn off the cabin if we want to, but super smooth here. Let's go ahead and zoom this out. So what I'll do here, let's see how the terrain works. Out. If it goes all the way out. Does it go all the way out? Look at that. This is another update. So 320 miles on the range, or maybe it always was. Maybe that was X-Plane. 320-mile range. This is a accurate depiction of the terrain radar here. And like I said before, we have peaks mode enabled. So what peaks mode does is it will depict the highest terrain and the lowest terrain on your current ND scale. I don't know why we're not getting it. Maybe because we're overseas, we're not getting a bottom altitude there. But you see, as I zoom it down, now this number will change. I guess this is the 8,500 foot peak. If I zoom in, even if I get rid of that peak, we should have a lower number. Yep, you see that? 3,500. So this peaks mode, the highest peak of the terrain depicted on your current range selected for your ND. So this is a proper and accurate representation of the terrain on ND with the peaks mode installed. So, and most, I don't want to say most all, but all the Airbuses that I've flown here in the United States, we all have peaks mode now. Peaks mode, I'm trying to remember when that came out, when that was starting to be pushed out. Because Airbus initially, peaks mode wasn't a thing. But later on, peaks mode came out, and it's pretty much standard, I think, at least here in the U.S., it's standard equipment have peaks mode. So that's cool to see that. Very nice depiction of the screens. Let's go ahead and I'm going to turn down. I'm going to leave the integral lighting on, but let's turn off the floodlights. Let's turn off the dome light. I'll leave the integral lighting on the overhead on, just so we kind of see how the lighting changes in the cockpit here. Oh, That is a beautiful cockpit, though. Fenix cockpit has always been awesome. Does GSX still work fine? It worked fine with me kinetic, except I didn't load the fuel and passengers correctly, but I think that was a user error. Gustavo says, with all this fuel, why not attempt to land on 2-3 with the go-around and minimums and return attempt on 5? 2-3 is the WoW one. Oh, really, Gustavo? Okay. Gustavo, we're going to get to that in a second. I want to go through the changelog here when we level off. I thought runway 5 was the WoW one. So if I'm incorrect and the winds are calm, then maybe we'll do exactly what you're saying, because a go-around in nav mode will be good to test that out too, because going around nav mode, can we track? We'll see how it handles. So I'm not opposed to that idea. I think I was confused. I thought maybe runway 5 was the WoW approach. So let's let this airplane continue to climb out. I'm going to turn down the sim a little bit. And what is our distance? Let's go prog page NZQN for Queenstown. Let's throw that in here. 409. So we have 500 miles. We got plenty of time. So we're going to go up to cruise. Once we get to cruise, then we will go over the changelog, and then we're going to get into our approach review. Look at that. Jamie, thank you for the continued support for 7 months. I've finished my physics final exam for V1. Time for V1. Jamie, that's awesome. Well, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. Do we need to reinstall liveries? No, I didn't have any issues with my... I didn't have any issues with my livery. They all worked. They're both great, but 2-3 is the valley shot. Okay. The 2-3 is through the valley, 10 for 10 mile. All right. Going to be a very messy cabin if you don't release the passengers soon. Hey, we're not up to our cruise altitude. We're going to wait till we get up there. I mean, this is... You know, you can just get real quiet and fall asleep to this. This is real. I mean, this is straight up a real shot right here. The sun rising. You could even see the ripples on the water down there. I think the winds were about 15 to 20 knots when we took off. And I definitely felt the airplane kind of lurch into the wind, which is a real characteristic. Taking an airplane off into the wind, you're going to feel it. As soon as you rotate, those wheels come off, it's going to want to weather vane into the wind. And depending on the gust factor, depending on how much your steady state wind is, as you rotate, that airplane it's going to almost feel like it jumps into the ground more so than if it was just calm winds. You know, when you take off, when you rotate and the winds are calm, you'll feel, it's almost like it drags out the rotation. You rotate, nose comes up, and you can almost feel the struts decompress before you lift off. When there's a significant steady state or a gust of wind, it's accelerated. You just feel the airplane kind of jump into the air because you get that relative wind, right? So you're creating more lift. Did the FCU lighting get updated? Someone mentioned it earlier. They said it looked better. I think it looks great. It's hard to believe the performance gain is without their new 3D model, hence we're looking at another FPS boost in September. That is kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. Do you think the PFD colors are realistic? 100%. 100% realistic. Well, where would they not be realistic? So you can blast them out. That's too bright. I guess when it's all the way bright, it looks a little off. But, I mean, dim... That looks very, very realistic to me. Nice thin. So what happens a lot of times I've seen on Airbuses that get developed for sims is these these wing reference. What are the ADI? No, what are these things called here? Basically your wings, your attitude. But these yellow bars will be too thick. This is a very good representation, very clean. Matter of fact, I think the Chaos had just cleaned it up in the fly-by-wire version too, and that was a notable change on their ISIS. But yeah, everything looks good. The colors look good in my opinion. I really don't see where it would be off. I think it looks very, very good, and this looks very realistic over here. Even though we're not over any terrain, you know, I'll keep the terrain on if there's no weather, because I kind of want to see, well, where's land? Put airports on there as well. Do I change my 6 settings to linear in the McDo or Microsoft settings? Ryan, I would do both initially, and then if you have issues from there, then consider tweaking. But according to the changelog, it states to just start linear and then go from there, because I think that's what they built their flight characteristics on. Crossbar flight director, single queue. Thank you, Gustavo. See, that's why I bring Gustavo around whenever I need technical questions answered. Appreciate you, man. They increase the brightness for the display so they can get even brighter. That's interesting. Multi-moto, the flight dynamics have been changed for sure. It's less, the biggest thing that I noticed there on rotation and takeoff, it's less spongy during the blending from going ground mode to flight mode. Less sponginess feel. When we do approach, we'll reconvene on the approach when we see the approach. Hand flying in the turns, everything felt good. If you want further in-depth analysis on the flight model, tune in later this afternoon where we're going to break this puppy. So we're going to throw everything we can at it. Max crosswinds. We'll see if we can do any single engine stuff. I know single engine flight dynamics is really I think it's not necessarily a developer limitation, but I think it's more so of a sim limitation, depending on what can be modeled and what can't be modeled. That's why I tend to do X-Plane 12 when I'm doing V1 cuts and stuff. But you bet we're going to test it out here at Microsoft. We're going to see what it does. Vega, you love double stream days? I do too. We'll break for lunch. I'll get some coffee. I have to put a screw back on my Throttletek. It's interesting. One of my reverser bolts came loose. Yeah. Been using it hard for, what, 2 years? A year and a half at least? Been holding up well. Are you going to fly the 319 or 321 first? Lucas, I'm going to fly the 319 first. We're going to have a 319 blast-off party. I'm really hoping that'll be this... Oh, my birthday is September 22nd, so maybe, just maybe, Fenix will be able to do a 3... That's all I want for my birthday is a Fenix A319. That's all I want. We're 30 for 36. We're in the climb out. Let's get a little bit of an outside shot here before we level off, because once we level off, there's the contrails. Ooh, those contrails are not my fave, if I'm being honest with you. What do you guys think? I don't know. It's hard to say, though, because I've never seen this view of my own airplane, so I don't know what actual contrails look like unless you look at drone cam or have like a chase plane or something. You can see them rotating, though. That's pretty cool. So that rotation is 100% realistic, though. So that rotation is very, very realistic, and I've seen that. I've crossed over contrails in flight numerous times, and you can actually see them rotating still, even long after the airplane has gone by. So this rotation, 100%, 10 for 10 accurate. They just, I don't know. They look extra big, don't they? They look puffy. They look like we're smoking. What did I miss? That was just a big $20 super chat from Degato87. Degato, appreciate that $20 super chat, my friend. Says, hello, V1. What is your take on pursuing a Class 1 medical for eventual ATP license with kidney disease? I am stable and improving. Health-wise, I am perfect outside of my kidney condition. Degato, first and foremost, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. What I would say is there's nothing that's going to keep you from at least attempting to get that first class medical. So if you want to pursue flying, getting that medical is crucial. So go through the steps to see if you can get that first class medical, and don't tell yourself no. Let another entity tell you no. So don't just think, oh, because I have this particular health issue, I'm not going to pursue it. Go in and try to accomplish the medical. See, sometimes depending on the condition or, like you said, the recovery, maybe it's a non-issue. So don't tell yourself no. Go in like you're trying to get the medical, and then let another entity tell you that, hey, you either have to do this to fix it or there's no dice on this one. But I appreciate the $20 super chat. Thank you. Let's do a little FO view here. Look outside 11 o'clock. I know, I'm looking at that. Is that a volcano? That just looks awesome. I mean, see how smooth it is in the cockpit here? Good night. I thought the 319 and 320 not till end of the year. Correct. They said not till end of the year, but, September 22nd is kind of the end of the year, right? Come on, Amir. September 22nd. Hook it up. We still remember the king beneath the mountain. Open the window. No. Frames better? Yes. Frames are much better. 319 out of John Wayne, 100%. Maybe. Oh, this is what we were talking about yesterday. So this is the whole Gandalf, Lord of the Rings mountain, right? Is that what that is out there? I was never a Lord of the Rings fan, so you all got me on that one. It's the Egmont Mountain, a volcano, and it's an interesting feature. 922 is probably when V2 Block 2 will drop. Hey, well, I'll take that too. IE engines. Hey, if I can have IE engines for my birthday. Just joined First Impressions, Vladimir. Frames. Frames are my first impression. Frames are much better. Second impression, blending mode from ground mode to flight phase. On rotation, less spongy. Further in-depth analysis will occur later on this afternoon on a second stream when we just kind of pick apart the airplane. We're going to do some manual weather adjusting, trying to put it at max crosswind limits, and then throw some failures at it. So, but those are my initial impressions. Like I said, frames. What do you do in the box when HC says climb, descend via, except maintain 10,000? You put the altitude in the except maintain, and then you press manage descent. So you will be manage descent on profile until reaching that specific altitude. Vladimir, I'll take frames. Yeah, you'll definitely get some frames for sure. Mount Taranaki. That's Mount Taranaki. Did I check off display sync in Fenix settings? Yes, it is off. Display sync is off. Aggressive display sync helps with display lag and stuttering, may reduce frame rate. Don't use unless you have display issues. I don't have any display issues, so we're gonna leave them. We're gonna leave it be. Someone take teriyaki, tiny squid. You know what? I think we're gonna have some teriyaki chicken tonight because you just said that. You can also wait. Class 2 medical was a no-no for me with diabetes, but now I've heard I have a chance. If they say no, it might change in a few years. TV flight. So Pedro Marsala. He's like the front runner on getting a class 1 medical with maybe it's type 1 diabetes. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's type 1 or type 2. I'm so bad with that. But the ironic thing that he's been lobbying in DC and stuff, and he's an airline pilot now with diabetes. But I taught him. I did his first cross country, and then I taught him how to do night landings. We did a night cross country together, and this was way back when he was, obviously a private pilot, instrument pilot. And now to see him lobbying in DC for the pilots with diabetes, it's awesome. Like I am honored to know him, and he's a great dude. Queenstown area is 11 out of 10. Carol, I cannot wait. All I did, guys, for Queenstown, I downloaded the INI scenery. I loaded in to make sure there was no bugs. I kind of looked around the terminal, and then I just left because I want to save my first impressions for Queenstown, because some of you have been telling me Queenstown approach and the scenery there is some of the best in the sim. So we're going to save our first impressions for real-time live. You did your instrument stage check with Pedro? Major Tom. No kidding. Wait, Major Tom. Are you Major Tom? Are you Tom from Westwind? Let's see. Happy Thursday. Hey, Cam, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. A321 Cam MD80. I think you're going to need to change that to A321 Cam A320 or A319 or F28. What about for speed? Then you just do select speed, Jeremy. Select speed and then manage descent. Or you could change the speed in the perf descent page if you haven't already activated descent mode. All right, we're leveling 36,000 feet. This is where we're going to go over the changelog. So let's go into realism mode. So we're going to go ahead and get our sunshades up. Captain would probably have his sunshades up, and the first officer would probably be freezing because he's in the shade, and the captain's in the sun. So the captain's hot. He's got these turned down, all the way down, not all the way, but a little bit. Because he's hot, and the poor FO's over here in the shade, freezing the whole way. So we're going to set this is realism mode here for this particular sun setting. And we're gonna zoom it out. Look at that. We're gonna do jump seat view changelog time here. I'm Tom from West Wind. What? No, you're not. Top of the morning to all. I did go to West Wind, yes. I don't know if I'm the time you're thinking of, though. All right. Well, Major Tom. Well, hey, small world, man. Small world. Major Tom, don't you do super HD cinematic videos on YouTube? I've seen your profile picture before. You look very, like your profile pic looks familiar. All right, changelog time. Can you, the changelog up on stream? Chaos, I will attempt to do that right now. Let me see if I can. I mean, I know I can, but let me, give me a second. I have to go into some other windows here. So you guys have control, don't touch anything. Let me open up my own changelog, and then I'll see if I can scroll it in here. Mike P, thanks for the membership milestone chat. I know it's kind of hard to get a hold of all these messages. Did I delete the old Fenix? So Mike P, I might have done a no-no. I just re-downloaded the installer from the website, and then I just installed it because I didn't want to waste time. Now, if I have any issues, I will probably do a clean install. I think that was a recommendation from Fenix to do a clean install. But I did not. I just downloaded the new installer. I didn't update through the app. I downloaded the new installer from the website, just installed it over the top of the old Fenix, and fingers crossed, so far so good. So we shall see. Oh, you're working on your CFI right now? Major Tom, that's awesome. So you do those videos. Awesome. Guys, if you haven't seen Major Tom's videos, you need to check him out. He's got some hardcore cinematic videos on YouTube. All right, let me pull up a... Where is the changelog? Here it is. I'm going to pull up the changelog and then open it in a new window so I can show it on Streamlabs for y'all. All right, let me get this set up. Here. And now I'm going to... Now we're almost there. Give me one more second. We are almost there. I wonder if this will work if I do it this way. Stand by. Hey! Oh, but you can't see me changing pages, huh? That's not gonna work. Stand by. Let me delete that one. How can you tell if you actually installed V2? Kinetic, check on your weight and balance on your EFB and look at the total number of passengers available for your airplane. It should be 180, I think. You can go up to 180. That would let you know that you're in the V2 for sure. At least that's what I did. Oh, here we go. Window. There we go. Sorry, guys. And Fenix right here. There we go. Now it'll work. All right. Do I use modern or legacy? Kieran, that's a great question. I don't actually know. Whichever the correct one is. Someone in chat probably has a better answer for you. I think legacy is FSX. Like old school FSX. You want to use modern. For sure. All right, let's go through this. Let's kind of walk through the changelog here. I want to find a better view for you guys, though. Oh, there we go. That's kind of cool. So it's kind of like I'm the check airman, and we're briefing the captain. A year already. Thanks for the content, Jessica. Appreciate you. Thanks for the support. All right, here we go. For the app, this is your Fenix app. Removed legacy display render options. So if you remember on the Fenix app, you could do display render options like on your GPU and all that stuff. Force default to new display render. Added checkbox to enable legacy display section for CPU only. That's what we were just talking about. Display synchronization. So I don't have any issues so far with displays, but that's also on there. Added question marks. Okay. That's just to let you know what they do on the new Fenix app. Let's get to some meat and potatoes. EFB, weight and balance discrepancies. Updated layout to 180. That's what I was saying. That's how you find out if you're for sure in the new update. 180 packs. Updated EFB map mode to support the new Navi maps, which we looked at on the ground, which is kind of cool. Remove loading bars from map and charts to facilitate faster load-in. So a little bit faster on the Fenix app for sure. Going in between apps within the app, or going between apps within the iPad, I should say. It's definitely a little bit quicker. Now let's get into the displays. This is a complete rewrite and redrawing of PFD fonts. Okay, colors, elements. So they did tweak that, and I think it looks great. I really do. I really do think it looks great. Rewrite and redrawing of ND and of the ND, same thing. So PFD, ND, ECAM, lower ECAM. Complete rewrite and redrawing of SCU. It's already been done, so that's the up on the top there. Colors, clock displays, increased display brightness for better visibility in bright daylight, which is pretty cool because in Microsoft, you do have the issues where you need to run up the displays or run up the brightness because Microsoft Sun is a real thing. Rewrote the entire display render pipeline to increase performance. Cool. All right, here we go. This is where it's really going to get juicy. Fahrenheit cabin temps? Do they have that really? That's awesome. So the McDo issue is that my AV Bitdefender quarantined the Fenix CDU file. What's, oh, your antivirus. Ah, there you go, Romulus. So that's something to know because that is on the noted bugs so far on the Fenix Discord. They're saying that the black McDo is a known bug now, and Romulus says that his issue was his antivirus quarantined the Fenix CDU exe file. So if you run into that, looks like Romulus has already found a fix for you. The whole cockpit should be brighter. It does seem brighter. It does seem brighter. All right, let's get into the actual flight model, fly-by-wire, and auto-flight. Rudder Authority returned system side, retuned system side to provide consistent behavioral output to the user. This is going to be a big one when we test it on our next stream. We're going to really get the crosswind testing going, get our legs going. Fixed a bug with aileron ground to normal blending law, now correctly blending in 0.5 per the real aircraft. This, I think this might be what I was talking about, although this is aileron response. Ground to normal blending. Blending law. Law is kind of a misleading word, I think, like a blending phase. Because when you say law, you start thinking of different flight control laws. But it is the blending phase and the rotation, 0.5 per second. That's pretty. So that wasn't just me then. Retuned aileron response time during blending, so more responsive on the ailerons during blending. So that's after rotation. You got to start a turn. Retuned and refined fly-by-wire implementation of yaw, and roll relationship. The aircraft should now more appropriately compensate for roll moments induced by introducing rudder input. Again, this will be great to test here on our second stream when we really get into it. Return lateral ground friction values in conjunction with the above rudder authority changes to ensure cohesive and consistent lateral control properties. All right, so again, this will be really good to test with high crosswinds. Fixed a bug, fly-by-wire inhibiting aileron orders being sent when the aircraft was in flare mode. This is a big one. So inhibiting aileron orders when the aircraft is in flare mode, so you can't adjust your roll in flare mode, which would definitely be problematic. Rework spoiler deployment to dump lift faster, ensuring aircraft settles quickly. Should get rid of bouncing. Good to know. Or not necessarily get rid of bouncing, but that'll help you settle down, right? What else we got? Rerun control surfaces, adjusted gyro, and other stability factors. Implement a proprietary surface deflection dynamic pressure. Okay. Hold on, give me a second. Did you guys just stop chatting, or did my chat box freeze? Somebody send a chat message. It's tripping me out. Wow. Okay, so you all are just literally sitting there. Okay. All right. Okay. If that was trippy. I'm looking over at almost 500 viewers and not a single chat message going off. Jesus. All right. Okay. All right. Continue on. As you were. Stop chatting as you were. AJ Fernari taking notes. Oh my goodness. Class is in session. Perfect silence. I mean, I would expect that from like, 200 viewers maybe, but for almost 500 to not have a single chat message, I'm like, wait a second. All right. I had my little spidey senses were going off. All right. Fixed a bug. We already did that. Rework exploit deployment for settling down. That'll help for those that have a skill issue. We can't with bouncing. No, I'm just kidding. Rewritten control surface parameters, adjusted gyro and other stability factors, eternalized elevator dynamics and system code. Blah, blah, blah. Aircraft inertia. This is big. We'll probably see this here when we, even on this landing in Queenstown, we might be able to tell a difference. Aileron handling properties. We kind of already looked at that on departure. Everything was really smooth. What I did notice, and I don't know if this was tweaked, but when I demonstrated going past 33 degrees angle of bank and then letting go of the side stick, at least I think, it used to snap back to 33 pretty rapidly. This was a nice smooth transition back to 33, which is much more realistic. So I don't know if that is part of the tweaking or maybe just a side effect, but we already kind of looked at that on departure. Adjusted elevator code effectiveness to achieve desired pitch rate in direct law. Ooh, this is direct law, you say. Okay, Phoenix. I guess you want me to put this puppy in a direct law. We shall do that. Adjusted roll rate in flight model direct. Ooh, okay, Phoenix. I see you. So you want me to put this in direct law and go up and put it to the absolute test. I will break it. We'll find a way to break it. Adjusted corrected data by. I don't think that's. This is way too complex for me. Fixed THS movement being inhibited while stick input is detected. That could be a problem. Okay, so that's good that that's fixed. Adjusted elevator limits in line with specific limitations on real aircraft in flight. Okay. Retuned fly-by-wire pitch axis. Less off-axis snap. Retuned roll for change in aileron. Roll axis, less snap. Okay. General's autopilot PID tuning to accommodate large-scale changes to flight dynamics. All right. Better FD coupling. All right. I did see where Amir said that the flight director coupling could be better. We'll see later on for sure how that turns out when we do some hand flying. Retuned auto thrust for better response and accuracy. This is a big one. So when we land, I'm going to leave the auto thrust on for the approach, and we're going to see how it handles. Because even in the slightest wind condition, if you guys remember in Phoenix V1, those auto thrusts were just like jumping up and down, up and down. So I was pretty much hand flying. I was pretty much doing manual thrust for all my approaches. Corrected fly-by-wire load factor limit per system spec, direct law. All right, well, they're just begging for me to put this thing in direct law. We'll do it for sure. Retuned flare mode properties for new flight dynamics. Fixed oscillations during substantial pitch maneuvers. All right. 2x sim speed. Who's doing 2x sim speed with a Phoenix? Adjusted THS zero logic post touchdown to incorporate correct activation gates. This is interesting. So just the other day, my last trip actually, when I was departing, I was listening like you're supposed to listen to your company ops frequency. And as I was taxiing out, another aircraft called up ops and said, hey, we need maintenance to come to the airplane. And they're like, okay, what's the issue? And they said the THS is not reset to zero. That's kind of an eye-opener. After landing, the THS, the trimmable horizontal stabilizer, the big horizontal fin on the back of the airplane, that resets to zero after every landing. And theirs not reset to zero could definitely indicate some potential problems. And that's a great catch by the first officer doing the walk-around. That's one of the things you check a post-flight or a pre-flight. You're making sure that THS is at zero. So that's kind of interesting. Adjusted trim entries, raw flight mantle, better accuracy, post-rotation stability. We kind of already felt that. Improved autopilot rudder for... Wait a second. Improved autopilot rudder use for single-engine flight. Yes, we know engine model still not good in single-engine flight. Oh, I thought it was saying we fixed it. Well, we're going to test it out. We're going to see how not good it is because we're going to do a single-engine approach with the autopilot, with the auto thrust at a max crosswind limitation. What do you think? We might roll it into the dirt, but what the hell? We'll do that later today. Avionics systems. Synced icing. I know that now works, so you can see icing on the aircraft, which is pretty cool. Affects aircraft. Anti-ice systems are now effective. That's beautiful. Swapped old nasty terrain out for shiny new peak mode. All right, so that is a new changelog. Fixed crash and calculation of alternate fuel. McDo lat reversion page crashes. Spurious ECAM fault to an IRS not aligned on ground. Cool. Added IR not aligned ECAM. I did see that. That's cool. Fixed issue where ECAM advisories would not call the associated page. Man, this is insane here. LNAV. What is CF again? Gustavo. Center to fix. Oh my gosh. What does the CF stand for? I know what it stands for. I'm just drawing a blank. LNAV CF fix. Legs flying too far away before turning inbound, or flying too far away. Hey, Amir, you got a wow. Amir 0 for 10. I want a refund. He misspelled far. Course to fix. Is it course to fix? Yeah. Yeah, because RF is radius to fix. Yeah, course to fix, radius to fix. That's what it is. Too far away. Too far away. I want a refund. Fixed incorrect bleed temp on ECAM for engine 2. I didn't even know that was a problem. Fixed inconsistencies of wind data between IRS and hybrid GPIRS. Added DME base bias. Jeez. Do not change appearance of roll limit indicator in PFT during alpha protection. Modified emergency exit silence to LG CIU signal 12. Oh my gosh, this is insane. Alternate fuel, all this good stuff. Smooth out aileron droop to align with flap extension. We should have checked that on departure. He hasn't misspelled it. It's British English. Fixed an issue where VNAV did not properly calculate distances, causing routing issues. Interesting. Make sure climb or descent prompts appear when altitude constraint entered directly on flight plan page in cruise phase. Okay. Fixed an issue where speaking of, seatbelt sign is off. You're now free to move about the cabin. Oops, where'd my change log go on my side? There it is. ECAM cruise not showing vibration advisories for vibration data. What are they getting ready to model some Pratt & Whitneys? When engine not running, display engine limit according to thrust lever position. Cool. Engine pressure indication, show values. Adjusted parking brake pressure. Added start valve not closed ECAM procedure. Ooh. Improved conditions for detecting start valve faults. I mean, need we say more, Chad? Need we say more? Let me look. I'm going to kind of scroll through here, see if anything pops out at me real quick. Fixed crash in descend validation VNAV. Huh. This is interesting because we did this on our initial flight. Flight control surface droop while hydraulic failure active during flight. Added new simulation for unpowered surfaces while in the air. Very interesting. Added new and improved autopilot asymmetric thrust rudder controller for single engine flight. Oh yeah, we're gonna single engine roll this sucker into the ground today. I can't wait. We're gonna really try to break this airplane. Fixed latched flare FMA on long floater landing. Should no longer revert to vertical speed and heading. All right, that's where you got that trip ding 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 when you typically wouldn't have that. Pac-Man coming in with a 10 gifted membership drop to the channel. Pac-Man, I appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Thank you for that donation. Guys, if you pick up a membership from Pac-Man, exclamation point welcome for your new perks here on the channel. Hope you stick around. And make sure you say thank you to Pac-Man for that generous donation. Pause the alert box here for a little bit. All right, removed custom ground friction code. Fixed erroneous FMA or climb. Added discontinuity route for approach speed. Set auto TCAS off by default. Thank you, Jesus. All right. Added VNAV calculations for speed and altitude and secondary flight plan. Cool. Aha. Enter destination message logic corrected. Should no longer trigger for no minimum. So if you do everything else in the perf approach page, but then don't put in the minimums, previously I used to say enter destination data, which it wouldn't, because I remember distinctly one time a long time ago, allegedly, we were coming down on approach, and I'm like, why don't we have any minimums on our FMA? And then I was like, oh, because we didn't put the minimums in the FMA, or we didn't put the minimums in the perf approach page, but everything else was already prompted. So, all right. Optimum flight level on prog page. Fixed logic should now depend correctly on init A plus B. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Everything is good here. I tell you what, let's do a quick airplane check because I feel like we are We have to do some serious approach checks. We're 334 out. Runway 05. We can go a little bit further.
If you never thought that V1 is a great streamer, check that viewer retention while he's sitting here eating a software change log lol.
Stephen Ainer, appreciate the $5 bank angle check, man. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys like it when I read to you. Hey, I read bedtime stories to my girls, so this is kind of the same thing, right? Appreciate you, Stephen. Thank you for the $5 bank angle check. Very kind of you. And I'm honestly, like, I'm very impressed with this changelog. Let me try to get it. I don't know if y'all can still read it, but I was trying to get the camera so you can see more airplane here. Maybe like that. But thank you, Stephen. Appreciate the bank angle check, man. Very kind. We got a little bit more time. Let's go ahead and cycle through. Ryan Johnson, your side stick seems insanely sensitive. So why don't you, Ryan, first things first, make sure you clear out all the curves that you have and the sensitivities. Then go into your McDo, go to the control under the maintenance portion of the McDo, go to config maintenance, and then reset your null zones in there. Make sure everything is cleared out first. And then if it's still too sensitive, then maybe start adding a little bit of curve or reactivity. Again, depending on hardware, it's going to be so hard for any dev. It doesn't matter what airplane, what developer. Everybody's hardware is different. So what may work for somebody or what may work for the majority of people may not work for you. So do what the Fenix team said initially. Zero out all curves and sensitivities. Make sure you're at a baseline and then start tweaking from there. All right, winds are favoring 5. Okay, we'll still do it. We're going to keep running through this real quick here. We got to run through this changelog. We're still going because then we got to. Oh yeah, Ali Sammy, we're going to do some abnormals today. I'm going to try to break Amir's airplane here. We're going to try to break it because apparently we've got some fixes with the rudder and single engine characteristics. So this afternoon should be a spicy meatball. We're going to load it up high hot density altitude, and we're going to abuse this Fenix V2 Block 1. But today we're in New Zealand. We're going to be doing a beautiful approach. We got to get a baseline done first. All right, continuing on through here. How many pages we got here? Hydraulic failure off. This is during an uncertain lights test. ATC panel digits to 8888. That's awesome. Descent guidance without blah 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 blah. Toga with engines off causes both avionics ventilations in and outlet to close. Should stay open with engines off. This is something that is, it's like half of me wants to be like, why? And the second half of me is like, this is unbelievably, incredibly detailed and simulated. Because who is going to, number one, doing Toga and not Toga on the ground with the engines off? Number two, if you're going to be doing that, who's doing that and looking outside to see if your avionics ventilation flaps are closing and opening accordingly? Whoever does this, like, that's your, whoever found this bug and corrected it you're awesome. It's probably Blackbox 711. This is something he would do. He'd be like, well, let me see here. In my 50 years of flying the Airbus, I know when you go Toga, the ventilations will close. But no, seriously, the smartest dude on YouTube. It wouldn't surprise me if this is something he found. Fixed McDo init B fuel predict page, bug, cold and dark. Visuals. Okay, let's get out of the visuals. Cockpit displays brighter. We already said that. Slight temperature cleanup. Cabin and galley optimizations, increased performance. Sound. Oh, this is good here. Engine start and shutdown sound. Logic improved. No more start noises when windmilling with the master switch on. Buzzsaw improved. Yep, we've definitely heard that. N2 whine reworked in all phases of flight. Awesome. We're going to listen to this whine on approach here for sure. For sure. Engine inlet airflow noises approved. Everybody does this when calibrating throttle. Correct, SK-Sun, but are they looking outside of the inlet and extract valves? I bet half of you in chat don't even know where those valves are located. I don't know. Unless you're a member, you probably know because we've talked about it before. The fart buttons, remember? It was actually 73NG driver that found it. Tell me you're kidding. Cabin packs, sample improved, AVEC volume and cockpit adjusted, exterior sound volume leveling, exterior Doppler effect. I mean, they really did some sound issues. All right, here we go. Known issues. Let's get over these, and then we have to prep for our incredible approach. Yeah, Panzergram, I'll show you real quick here after this. Expedite is a magic space button. Not behaving correctly at the moment. Don't even press it. You don't really need to use the Expedite push button. There's really no reason to ever use the Expedite push button on the FCU, because you can easily manipulate the airplane to do the exact same thing with much more control input. So if you do it now, Godspeed. I'm kind of curious to see what it does now, but I mean, I feel like this is tempting us to do it. I kind of want to press it now. Autopilot roll is a little too snappy on certain occasions. Pitch flight director bar coupling could be better. Direct to with no from to entries causes crashes. All right. There is your change log. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. All right. We have a company message. Let's get to the company message, and then we're going to look at the the vents. Let's go here. Atsu. Push it. I'm not going to push it. Air New Zealand Ops? That's just because I fast-forwarded the time. We weren't actually late. So let's go to the condition page. Nope. Pressurization page. All right, so inlet, outlet are closed. We're in flight. So we are closed. Inlet outlets. Right here is the extract, and right here is the inlet. Right here, this one here. Not this. This is your RVSM critical area, but right here. So right there, and it's hard to see it on this livery in particular, but it's like right there. So now let's go to, let's go ahead and force them. Let's check the ECAM first. So extract mode. So now they're in intermediate position. So there is a little, man, maybe I can do it in drone cam. Hold on. Ah! So there's a little flap inside the main flap for the intermediate position. There it is. So you see it's open right now. So this is open. So if I go back inside, let's close the blower. Let's leave the extract in the override position. With extract in the override, now they're closed. And if I go back to drone cam, you can see it's now closed. It's really hard to make out on this livery because it's all black, but it is closed. So that is those are the valves are talking about on the ground. Now they have a whole different logic, and they'll work accordingly to skin temperature and thrust lever position on the ground and in flight. So right now though, the normal position is this is the closed configuration. Okay, we need to do a little bit of work here. The vent on the left side is known as a ramp warmer or ramp cooler. It varies with seasons. Very true, very true. Okay, so Gustavo says we should do 5 and then go around and then do 2, 3. Let me pull up Navigraph's charts here because I need to familiarize myself with this whole approach. So I'm going to need y'all's assistance here as well. So I'm going to go here, Queenstown approaches. So this is what we have dialed in. I thought this is the juice. I thought coming out to Ibabu, then coming around through these mountains, over the lake, and then landing. Now this missed approach is quite spicy. RNAV 2, 3. Oh. Ooh. Oh. RNAV 2, 3. So, what are the current winds? Let's get a wind. If the winds are nil, we could just go around off 5 since we're already set up and then set 2, 3. Yeah, 2, 3, then 5 to land is prettier. Team Vodka says do 5. Well, what are the winds doing? Let's one thing at a time here. Let's see what the winds are doing. Well, I'm saying, yeah, why not both? Because we could test the go around and in nav mode and all that. So let's do weather. Let's get a weather request from what is it? NZQN Queenstown. Meetar me. Can always change the winds. Yeah, but we're not gonna. I want to do as close to realistic as I can right now. Anyway, my PFD and ND are lagging. Anyone with the same issue? FRCP. If that becomes an issue in your Fenix app, check the display sync button. There is a display sync button on the Fenix app. It's a new option. Someone was talking about Delta P 7.9. Yeah, that's fine. I've typically seen it right at the limit, depending on your cruise altitude. We're only at 36, so yeah, Delta P is fine. Weather data is also taxi about, so watch your spacing. No response. Really? That's who. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to do weather request, maybe? Use the EFB. Alright, that's a good point. Oh, my EFB. Come back, yeah? Alright, let me go arrival perf. Oh, Queenstown isn't compatible? What's the METAR? Let's just say 2-3. There's no METAR. I can't get the METAR from Queenstown for anybody? What about my flight, weather, arrival? No METAR. Alright, we got a real world 040 at 6. Okay, try to see Christchurch. Okay, looks like it's favoring 5 with icing conditions. I don't see any icing conditions. Let me just make sure we are real weather. Yep, live weather. Time is off. Alright. What do you guys want to do? We do a 5? Or 2-3? Let me look at these Navigraph charts again. We did 2-3. Through the mountains. Go around. Where's the mist? Where's the other missed approach? Oh, missed approach detail. And then we could circle back for runway 5, but then getting back to 5 would be quite challenging. Two, three. Alright. There's only one way to settle this. Poll is out, and you guys have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to answer the poll. 1016 down there on the ground. All right, good deal. Let me go ahead and set 1016 pre-selected, just like in a Boeing. All right, well, I could see where this is going. Everyone wants to see both approaches, so this will be a good. Oh, Windows Update are available. Beautiful. Crash my sim, why don't you? All right, let's see then. Let's go arrival. RNAV. Which RNAV is it though? Mike P. I'm not even following. Not even gonna do it. I want to do it off of UGPED. That looks more hardcore than ATKIL. ATKIL or UGPED. This is the RNAV Zulu 23. So RNAV Zulu 23. Approach via. ATKIL or UGPED? Let me look at. Well, I think ATKIL. Let's do UGPED. Because I want to do this tight right turn. This is kind of like child's play. This looks more hardcore. It doesn't matter what we use for 2 or 3 because we're going to mist anyway. ATKIL. Circled 1-4. I'm going to do UGPED. Now let's go plan. Zoom the range in here. This is really going to mess up our box. Oh, this is a good way to test the box here. Look at that. So we're not going to do all of that when we get a little bit closer. Well, it might be easier if we just did the at kill, huh? Oh yeah, at kill is on our... Yeah, let's do that. We'll do at kill. It's on the arrival for this. So, yeah, this looks... Well, it's not necessarily on the arrival, but... So we're going to go ekvox to at kill. So we're going to get rid of this. And then we're going to go... We're going to make our own. At kill. At kill. There we go. Now, I need to do some adjusting. Give me a second. So, on SimBrief, at kill, 10,000 feet. So, let's make that a hard altitude. It says at or above. I'm going to make it a hard 10,000. I'm going to make it a hard 10,000. Insert. Enter destination data. We're doing it right now. So, winds were... Or QNH was 1016. Temperature was... Somebody had it for me. Where is it? It's wind 2 knots at 310. No, that wasn't it. 040 at 6. That's what it was. At least that was what this other METAR said. 040 at 6. Temperature is -1. Really? All right. Alright, so that is set, that's done. We're going to kill the poll, we're going to end the poll, and we're going to, we know we're doing that, so you guys are making me work extra hard. Carl, performance is much better, for sure. Much better. Let's look at our minimums here real quick. Alright, so the Zulu minimums, we're going around, we're RNP 0.3, straight in for 2-3, 2709. 2709. That is good. Now let me make sure I have nav on go around on the settings here. That's right, it is winter. Pack the ski gear. Alright, units, RAs, controls, airframe, auto TCAS off, LDEV, I put all the good stuff. I put FLS on too, but we won't do an FLS on this approach. Matter of fact, let's just turn that option off. We'll do LDEV, nav and go around. Yeah, everything looks good. Ice detection, brake fans. All right. That is set up. We'll go back to my... Well, actually, you know what? We could go performance. Let's get an actual arrival perf data. We're landing on this runway, 23, 040 at 6 knots. Temperature is -1. -1. Enter. 1016 HG. Landing weight. 138. We'll call it 138.6. 138. .6. Low auto brake, auto flaps full. And it's good. Manual landing, auto brake, flap full wire, we're not calculating. It just won't calculate it, I guess. Am I missing something? Well, it won't calculate it, but I mean it's long enough runway. We'll be fine. Oh, it needs zeros for winds and temps? Ah, all right. We don't need to do that. Oh, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that I have this app instead of the. Let's go back to arrival. No, it's not arrival. RNAV. Zulu. RNP. 2-3. There it is. Wins or digits? It's fine. Where we're going, we don't need wins or digits. 360 got 10,000 at Egba. 2709 because I guess what? We will be able to land there. We're going around anyway. Click the option above the plus sign to follow your position. Yeah, I want to turn it off though. That's cheating mode. Click the button above the zoom going directly. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go direct. That's cheating mode. Fly your airplane. Use your instruments. Missing the leading 0 on wind speed. That's what it was. So he needs 0 in there. Poppycock. That's not how we do math in America. We just put 2 digits. You're going to need medium brakes. Well, we're not going to need any brakes as we're going missed. We're going missed, and then we're going to come back and circle to land for 5. So if we're going missed, that is a good point. Let's go ahead and look at the missed approach procedure because it is quite lengthy. So going missed, cab app at or above 3,200. So it's basically an RNAV missed following a track. We've got some altitudes. What is this special note here? There's a number 1. What does that mean? At or above 4. Okay. At or above 9. Where is the number 1 note, though? Ah. Climb 10,000 via the RNP AR missed approach track to the VOR and hold. Hold over Sungu. 10,000. Where is my number 1 note, though? Refer to missed approach detail. Number 1 note says ATC restriction. Well, I'm having a hard time, Oh, jeez. Right there. Right there. Alright. Well, that's good to know. So for ATC, there's got to be those altitudes. RNP 0.3 is required. If we get it when we're cleared via the final approach point at LRF 3300, we could set at or above minimum, so we could set theoretically 2800. Well, no, we're gonna, after we go final lap, we'll set our missed approach altitude initially of 10,000. Eventually, we're going out to this VOR. Inver Cargo 116.8. I bet you that's a good one to hard tune. Let's go ahead and hard tune that one. Not looking good for that first class medical. Oh, don't even, man. I got that coming up. INV, let's hard tune you. Not in database. Oh, it's because it's November, Victor. 116.8. I've hard tuned that one on my side just for a raw data reference if we need it. Glasses required. It's a lame note though. That's why. It's like I immediately omit lame notes. All right, perf data. I'm not going to do 80 on the descent. Let's knock it back. Let's do 78 and 300. This will also speed up our TOD. All right, so that is good. Our initial descent is we're going to set 10,000. Yeah, the 2-letter VORs must be a New Zealand thing. 10,000 feet. Oh my gosh, 10,000 feet is set. Looks like we're going to start down just past Upnix. And let's go plan mode. Let's step through the missed approach fixes in here. Make sure they are also in the box. There they go. So once you go to the missed approach, it populates. So there we go. No love. They're all in there. Our altitudes are in there. 150, 3,200. It's got our speeds calculated. All right, everything looks good. Perf, next phase. Next phase. Approach config full. Next phase. Go around. 49, 240. Clean speed, 227. Thrust reduction acceleration is at 2664, so we'll keep that in mind as well. All right, everything is ready to go. We've been briefed. You've been briefed. Constraint mode is on. Sun is coming up. And we are getting ready to step on down for the first time. Coming up next, excuses. Exactly. Need a larger monitor. Probably. Feels longer than the 9-hour flight. Come on, Mike. A lot of two-letter nav aids in Australia, too. That is weird. Lake Pukaki is down there. Looks cold, man. It definitely looks cold. Wow, it's 1:30 in the afternoon already? All right, this is going to be interesting, though. 1440p or 4K? What, me? No, I'm 1080p for the win, man. 1080p for the win. All right, here we go. There's Upnick. We're going to do it just like real life. About 5 prior to TOD, we'll mash that descent button. We need to watch out for each other if you're coming from the east and I'm coming from the west. Zippy Zapple for sure. I'll make some radio calls because I am going to go miss, though, so don't worry about me. As long as you just land, we'll be fine. Lake Pukaki. Amir apparently did say joystick sensitive needs to be at 0, so the controllers are linear. Yep. Team Vodka, are you on this flight? Are you flying this too? Are you flying down there? There's 5 miles prior. We got 10,000 initial. Let's go ahead and start down. Mock descent. Sounds are coming up. Enjoy the arrival. This is going to get spicy. Mike P. Oh, you're killing me. You should look to those ultra-wide monitors, HDR ultra-wide, best experience possible. Well, I would also need an ultra-expensive CPU and GPU if I want to stream that. Down we go. You're not even flying, Team Vodka, and here you are trying to tell me to land on 05. Just got here, default or no? Yeah, this is default scenery, but we are landing into the Innie builds. Queenstown. It's going to be awesome. When's the tour done? I don't know. Whenever we finish it up. No weather radar, none required. For some reason, V1 is not on my TCAS, but the guy behind him is. We're on. Or TARA. It's in below mode. Let me go ahead and... I know this triggers a lot of people. I put that to on. Let's see what happens. We're on the descent. We're already a little bit fast. Awesome. 47 knot headwind. Yeah, the fonts. Yeah, these fonts look good. I can just tell. It just looks good. It looks better. Everything looks better about this picture here. I almost wish I had my... I guess I could look at some old streams. Let's get some speed brake action. Let's get onto the descent profile. So at least we're fast and not slow. That's a real thing. All right, now I go ahead. We're back on it. We'll close the speed brake. Here's our econ descent window. It's going to keep increasing until it reaches 300 knots, and then it will have a little buffer above that. So right now it's looking good. We're on the path. We're on our descent. V2 so far is pretty sweet, man. Wife and kids? I don't know. I can't text them because we don't have any internet because we took a lightning strike. We don't have any cell service, but I'm sure they're fine. You have a 3090 though, right? I do, just a beefier CPU. True, but then that means I need a new motherboard because my motherboard can no longer accept any more better CPUs. Can I start engine 2 if crossbleed valve cannot be opened? Not via a crossbleed start. No. You could do it from a ground air start. Actually, can you ground air start 2 without a crossbleed valve? If your crossbleed valve is shut, I don't remember. I think the high pressure air is plugged in left of the system. I think it's plugged in prior to that crossbleed. So you may not be able to. I don't know. That's a Gustavo question. If your crossbleed is failed shut, I don't know how you're going to get air to the starter. Because I think that ground air is going to be... I don't know. We'll have to test it out. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm having a nightmare at 32,000 feet. It told me EGT over limit. That's not good. Is a crossbleed valve an MEL item? I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it. There's probably some stipulations on it. I don't know if you can dispatch with a crossbleed valve. I mean, you could MEL it open. I actually don't know. See, because the APU bleed and the ground high pressure air are on the left side of the system. If the crossbleed cannot open, I don't think you could do it. You'd have to have ground crew manually open it, but if it's stuck shut, then you're screwed. So yeah. Gustavo says, if stuck, MTC manually open and close it to start. Seriously push this bird out of where you are to justify it. Yeah. So, yeah. That would be the only option, like Gustavo said. You'd have to have a mechanic manually open the valve to start, and then he'd have to shut it. So yeah, you can MEL it open, which I've seen. Alright, going down, starting to pick up a little light chop. Let's get the seatbelt sign on. We'll get our recorder ready, because we're going to have to record both approaches. Actually, we probably don't even need to record to go around. We won't record to go around. There's no need for that. We're doing the first approach for cinematic and testing purposes only. Yes, Mustafa, I have much better performance in V2. Takeoff single engine and windmill start. There you go. We're slow on the descent speed, but we have a 71 knot headwind, so that's believable. Fuel auto feed fault. How do I fix this? Stop refueling it. An auto feed fault. That's a new one. Just gravity feed. Turn your pumps off. RNP AR in Quebec. Whoa! What was that? Alright. Alright, we'll go ahead and do it. We'll do what Fenix says, because that was aggressive. Where do we change the turbulence? Medium chop. No. Where does one change accessibility? Of course. Who I should have thought of that. Subtitles. Not there. Discard anything. Assistance options? Oh, there we go. Aircraft systems, no. Failure and damage. No. Piloting? No. Oh, this is lame. Assisted turbulence, realistic. Here it is. Medium. Whoever came up with that menu system between assistance, accessibility, needs to be shot. Should be environmentals, turbulence. Low, medium, realistic. Phoenix Simulations recommends low. Gasp. They recommend low. Alright, well, I know how to find it now, so let's go ahead and go back through here. Turbulence, we'll go to low. Apply and save. There we go. Not easy to navigate at all. Yeah, I don't know who designed the Microsoft Flight Simulator user interface, but I'd like to have a few choice words with them. Realistic. I've never, so I will say, this is the first aircraft that I've ever had to adjust that for. But that chop that we felt there was pretty aggressive. So I could only imagine what would happen further on. I've kept it realistic for every other add-on. I've even kept it realistic for Fenix V1. So, kind of curious to see what's going on with that. Phoenix Sim is in the chat, though. Sweet. Shout out. See, this is why I watched the stream first. Now I'll know where to find it. It might have been a weather change because we did go from 70 knots straight to 40 initially. It might be a weather change. What's transition altitude? Do you guys remember? Flight level 13,000. That seems low, but all right, we'll keep on coming down. 13,000. I just with this high terrain, but maybe not. It is recommendation based on current thermal modeling. You can leave it on realistic if you like and see what you get out of it. Well, now I'm kind of want to go back to realistic. It's not a requirement. Now I'm kind of curious. Should we go back to realistic, chat? What should we do? I'm kind of curious. It might have been a weather change. It might have been legit because the winds immediately shifted there. It was just one roll. I'm going back. Screw it. Let's go. Let's full send. Full send. We don't change settings for no one. I'm just kidding. Realistic, apply and save. If we rip the wings off, I'm blaming you, Team Vodka. Low is for 737 drivers. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Mike P, you're going to get me in trouble, man. We're back to realistic mode. I think it was a weather change. I firmly believe. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Transition level is 15,000. That says 13. Let me look at the chart real quick. RNP Zulu, it should have it right here at the notes. Transition 15,000. Flight level 150. Transition altitude is 13,000 feet. 13,000 feet or flight level 150. .16. We'll go ahead. No, I'm not going to hurt to change it early. Let's go ahead and set them all up. 10.16 on first and second. Ooh, I like the click sound there. That seemed very good. That seemed new. Much more crisp, but not overpowering like we encountered last night on the auto brake selector on the fly-by-wire, which has been changed, by the way, but very crisp, clean sounds there. This whole panel looks different. I should have taken a bunch of screenshots of V1 and then put them up next to V2, because sometimes I swear my mind plays tricks on me. I look at this, I'm like, this looks different. Like, it looks better, but then I don't remember V1 looking bad. So, I don't know. I really like the sounds in V1, but any change in the update? Scotty, yeah, there's been quite a few changes. We spent the better part of an hour going over the changelog, and I even skipped a bunch of them. But we're going to really dissect this airplane. I think that the beefy or the meat and potatoes on this changelog has to do with some handling and flying characteristics that we're gonna do on a second stream later this afternoon, where we're gonna just do manual weather. We're gonna do some straight max crosswind test. I'm gonna do the ultimate test. We're gonna do a single engine approach with the autopilot and the auto thrust with max crosswind limitation. We'll see what happens. So, try at your own risk. But we're really gonna dive into the handling on a later on stream today. But it does look sharper, Stewie, right? That's what I thought. Some texture cleanup here and there, says Phoenix. FCU fonts are different. Maybe that's what it is. The fonts then over here. Yeah, we're on the bottom of the speed scale, but we also started with an 80 knot headwind, 70 knot headwind. Now it's 20 knots, right in the bottom of the econ descent window again. But I'd rather be at the bottom than the top, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it as we continue to do more test flights. We'll see how our econ descent window pans out. I do not have display sync on, Adam. I haven't had any issues. In the Fenix app, it says if you experience syncing issues, try it. I haven't experienced any issues with display sync yet, knock on wood. So we're good to go. All right, 250 knots. We're slowing down, 10,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and get the lights on now because I don't want to forget, and we're going to be engrossed in the scenery. So that's coming on. I'm going to select... yeah, I'm going to select speed 250 knots. We're going to activate and confirm the approach phase. VAP is 137. Speed out star. Let's arm it. We've got final is blue. App nav. We have LDEV enabled on this aircraft. So we're outstar, final blue, app nav. 10,000 is set. Theoretically, we shouldn't have to set anything below 10,000 here, right? If my memory serves me right. It's been a while since I've done an RNAV. We should go final lap mode because we have our descent stick. That blue descent arrow right there. We're 4,000 feet above Chaos. The highest peak right here is 6,200 feet. I know it looks close, but it's not. There we go. Final lap is captured. We can set our go-around altitude. Missed approach altitude. Do you guys remember what it was? It was 10,000. So we're going to just leave 10,000 set. Final lap is captured. And let's go ahead and I'm going to dial in 180. We're going to slow up here. I'm going to dial it back. I'm surprised there's no speed restrictions on this approach. It's actually quite surprising. I know, Romulus, I'm aware that they said the performance is not there, but they also said that there was some autopilot adjustment. Let's go flaps 1. We're going to see just how far off the single engine performance is, Romulus, for testing purposes, for science. Alright, we're on the RNAV. Final lap is blue. As long as we're configured, we'll take it all the way down to about minimums, and then we'll execute a go-around. And again, I'm going to leave the auto thrust on for this approach. We're going to see how it handles. Right now, I mean, so far the auto thrust has been pretty much spot on, but I do remember in V1 that started to get issues on approach. VFE next -10 flaps 2. Yeah, doing this approach in the clouds would be full IMC down to minimums. Alright, we're 180, we're flaps 2. Touchdown zone elevation is 1171. Let's call it 1,200 feet. So at 1,200 feet, that's touchdown. We'll add 2 to that. That's 3,200 feet is when we should really make sure we're configuring to full. What's the glide path, though, past that? That's something I also should have briefed. The glide path angle is 3.2 degrees, according to the chart. So that's a little bit steeper than our 3-degree path, so we might even slow up a little bit earlier. Give it some time. You will regret the idea of going around when you get on the final. Oh boy. I'm excited. I've never done this approach. I'm kind of surprised there's not any like trees out there. Oh, there they are. Man, at sunset, I bet this would be stunning. That looks stunning right there, though. The reflection off the wing. Oh my goodness.
Queenstown traffic, fuel 2409. We're going to back taxi on 05.
Maybe you fancy a career change and become a test pilot. Well, Ramen, I wonder what kind of medical they have to hold for a test pilot. Probably the same, right? Yeah, the file size, it was a quick download. The temperature, no trees. That's right, Felix. I gotta forget. I forget it's cold down here. But that turn was awesome. All right, I'm gonna try to minimize, up the sounds even more. The I mean, damn, that looks good. I'm gonna slow us up more because I wanna enjoy this.
2,500.
We're gonna come to 160. We're gonna fly at 160 flaps 3. That'll help with our turn here too. We're already below VFE next -10. Let's go flaps 3. A little bit out of sequence, but it's all right. Flaps 3 slowing to 160. Flap vibration for the win. Oh my gosh. Smash down the like button for flap vibration. Look at that. That little wiggle. You guys picking up on The modeling of the wing is straight juice, Kyle. I agree. Best wing view in any simulator on any airplane, period. The most realistic wing view that you're going to find on any sim, on any airplane. Doesn't matter what sim, doesn't matter what add-on. The wing views on the Fenix are the best. Same with the wing flex. Look at this wing flex. It's perfect. See how it just kind of almost like it's bowing out right there after that slat? I could do a whole flight on wing views. Sunset or sunrise? Should we roll the time back a little bit for sunrise? Since this is part of a cinematic approach, let's roll it back a few. Let's throw it back a little bit. Pretend we spent less time on the gate. We were landing on time. We'll do that. We'll just roll it back a couple minutes. Wow. Auto thrust is sounding real good, Mark. Yeah. Small, subtle changes, nothing crazy. Nope, it won't mess up replay, Jonathan. Replay on the flight recorder, you can replay it on any time that you want. Look at the lighting on the coming through the mountains though, like so the shadowing behind the hills. I should scroll here.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Terrain I have control. Terrain check. That's kind of an interesting one. Maybe
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Jip whiz inhibit on this approach, maybe? That might have been in your company SOP. So that was the E-Jip whiz going off. Do you hear that? Terrain ahead? That's not your GPWS. That's your E-Jip whiz. That's your enhanced Jip whiz. We talked about that. Terrain clearance floor and all that. Look, terrain now is selected off on ND. Proper ECAM display there. So we might have been out of the TCF briefly. AnyBuilds is in the chat. Shout out to AnyBuilds. Again, we are landing the AnyBuilds Queenstown. We're going to see it twice. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and configure full. Why not? Let's configure full. I'm going to let the autopilot do its thing. Gears coming down. VFE next, -10 flaps full, landing checklist. This will be a fun go-around. Config full go-around. We're going to leave the autopilot on. We're going to do a full autopilot test here. It should be able to handle the go-around with the automation on. I'll even leave the Throttletek cam off so we get the full cinematic effects. As soon as we get approaching minimums, we'll smash it. Oh, wow. Look at this. Runway in sight. Look at this turn. You've got this little hill right here, right off the final. This is stunning. Auto thrust spot on. We're fully configured. Flaps full, gear down. Auto thrust is doing a good job. It's trying. Seems still a tad quick, but way better than it used to be. Alright, here's get ready. Should we do the go around from the wing view?
357, you got me on this?
Yeah, traffic on 05 got you inside there, and it's 357, we're going around. Going around. Go around flaps. Positive rate, gear up. Interesting, it did not cycle into go around. Flaps 1, speed checks. What's up with that? Thrust climb, open climb, auto thrust. It's like a high altitude intermediate go around. Flaps 0 after takeoff checklist. Climbing out at green dot. Queenstown traffic in New Zealand 357 on the go around 3.5, climate 10, published mist. This was cool. So we're thrust climb, open climb. We're at green dot. Could speed it up here, but I'm going to let her climb out. We're doing 3,400 feet a minute. At or above 3,200. We're already above that, so why not? Let's go ahead and begin accelerate. Oh, it's 150 knots? Max 150? So that's, we almost, it's like we triggered it. We were too high. We had no go around track there. The acceleration altitude was below the decision altitude. All right, so we're off on our altitudes here on the go-around. That's interesting, Gustavo. You're right. Our acceleration altitude was below the DA. So we never actually got a man go-around track. But anyway, let's... Either way. We're testing for science, for science. Oh my gosh. We're going to have to fly in here when it's actually hard IMC. We're going to have to fly hard IMC. Alright, so we're going to continue on the published. We'll take it out to our, how's our fuel looking? We're 7.3, we're looking good. So we're go around in the box, but yeah, that was interesting because we were so high on our DA, acceleration altitude below the DA. So we're back to like old school. That was very, very interesting to see that. We're speed out star leveling 10,000. I'm going to go ahead and accelerate now. Let's go ahead and take it up to about let's take it up to 240. We don't need to be screaming around down here. No, there's nothing wrong with it. We're going to re-sequence for the runway 5 approach. So we're still on the published mist. Level 10,000. Lights are still on. That is pretty sweet. Would you turn JIPWIS back on? Have to go on, Andre? Yeah, at some point. Again, that would be that'd probably be an operator-specific briefing they'd have in there. And again, I don't know exactly where we were on the terrain clearance floor on that one, but that's why that JIPWIS went off. Yeah, company pages would have acceleration to 9,000. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they do, Gustavo. I mean, that's what ours have them. So 100% right. We needed to change the go-around acceleration altitude to 9,000 feet. So if you guys aren't really capturing what happened there, so our acceleration thrust reduction 2,600 feet. When did we go around? We went around like 3,000. So it never actually got to trigger into the proper Mantoga SRS go around track. It just went into our straight LNAV VNAV open climb. What I should have done is I should have come down here and manually input thrust reduction and acceleration altitude prior to. Now, I don't think there's a note for that on just the straight up Navigraph charts, but I guarantee you on a company chart that would probably be pasted in red letters somewhere, because I know they are for us, because there are airports where we have that exact issue, and there is big red letters when you go over your airport briefing. This is a good test though. We'll go ahead and let it enter the hold. Green dot plus 20. Clean 209, 230. We'll do 230 in the hold. It's already got 230 at Sunga. If I go here, we'll just go ahead and select 230. We'll select 230. We'll let it enter the hold. And then we're going to recycle. So this is actually a good check ride prep. So after takeoff checklist complete, airplane's cleaned up. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, just want to give you a quick update here. We had to do a go around off runway 23 here into Queenstown. There's traffic landing opposite direction. Nothing wrong with the airplane though. There's no reason to worry, no reason to panic. Right now we're just going to resequence ourselves. We'll come back around. We're going to land on runway 05. Should be a beautiful approach from this side in. Thanks for your patience, and we'll have you on the ground here in about 5-10 minutes. Thank you. All right, so we're out to the hold. We're going to resequence the box here. Let's go New Zealand arrival runway 05 RNAV now. And we want to do the Zulu, right, again? And we want to do it off of the Ibabu, which is what we were initially trying to do. So there's the Victors. There is the Zulu. Oop, I went one too far. Zulu 05. No star. Approach via Ibabu. Now, this is what always gets me nervous when you're on a check right in the sim, because, like, if I insert this, is it going to clear out my hold? It didn't. Proper. So you can screw yourself up, like when you're doing your recurrence. If you do that, I forget the sequence of events where you can accidentally clear out your own hold while you're navigating. I had an FO do that to me a long time ago. We were recurrent sim. We're on the missed approach, just about to enter the hold, and he did something in the box without me confirming it, and it wiped out the hold. I'm like, oh my god. So then I literally was just like raw data, like, all right, I'm going to do a parallel entry, blah, blah, blah. Almost got close on that one, but everything looks good. We're resequenced. Let's go out to the hold, and then we'll come back around for 05. We could get the minimums too. Let's go ahead and pull out the proper chart. We'll get rid of you. RNAV Zulu 05. Ibabu out here. Let's see. RNP 0.3 is 2300. We'll come down here. Perf. We're going to react. We're selected speed, so we can reactivate and confirm the approach phase. That looks good. Our new minimums for 05. What did I say? 2,300 feet. 2,300. This is a good test for the box work, too. When you start finger tinkering with these boxes here, set hold speed, green dot plus 20, 320 classic. We'll do 230 knots. We'll clear you out. That's fine. 210, yeah, 230 is fine. Or green dot plus 10, plus 20, new plus 20. And it's published 230, so two rights make it right. So we're doing 230 knots. Put the VOR back up on 1. If I zoom out, Ibabu is going to be kind of off of where we need to be. I just want to see it enter the hold, and then we're going to vector ourselves out. But we'll manual brakes, full flaps, full reverse, 2300. We're resequenced. We're ready to go. No need for LS push buttons because it is an RNAV. And then as soon as we enter this hold here, we're going to resequence out of it and go try it again. Lucas, thanks for the gifted membership. Appreciate you, man. Looks like Flight Plan 1 picked up a membership from Lucas. The missed approach box on the RNP has the rules regarding minimum alt for acceleration during go-around. Good deal. I'll have to look at that. Michael Fisher, the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Very kind. Thanks for the $10 super chat here on the channel. Don't have a message with it, but I appreciate the support, man. That's very kind. All right, so here we go. We're entering the hold. All right, we're not going to enter the hold. Let's say Air New Zealand 357. Are you ready to accept approach for 05? Air New Zealand 357, roger. Okay, New Zealand 357, fly heading 250, maintain 10,000 feet. Heading 250, maintain 10,000, New Zealand 357. Terrain is back on. Heading 250. Now we're going to resequence the box. Now there's a couple different ways. This is a unique scenario here that we don't really talk about on the channel very much. Now you always hear me saying, oh, you just do a direct to or shoot a line. There's another method that can be helpful, and that's called clear PPAWs. So instead of drawing a line from our Ibabu fix or whatnot, I just want to clear out this hold. So I'm going to clear from the top. We're going to clear Sungu. I'm going to clear the hold. And then I'm going to clear Sungu one more time. And now I'll hit insert. And look what we have in check right corner. We have Ibabu in check right corner. We don't have any extended center lines or anything like that. But that's just another way to clean the box. It's like clear PPAWs is what we say. Or you could clear PPAWs or clear to PPAWs, which is present position. So that's another way to clean up the box. Just clear top down, get it where you want to be. Let's vector ourselves over. And in the vector, I saw a message from Any Builds who says, a landing rate of less than 200 feet per minute, and you can give a copy of Queenstown away. Oh boy. Any Builds is bringing the game with a 200 feet per minute bet. Oh boy, challenge accepted. Now, the question is, how bad y'all want that scenery? Do I float this sucker out? We can float it out. We will get a sub 200. Well, I don't know. I shouldn't say that. It's pretty hard to get sub 200 on the fly live feet per minute. My fly-liver is 200 is... We did 200 last night in the fly-by-wire. So we're going to do it. We are going to really less than 200. So it's got to be a 199. All right. Challenge accepted for mini builds. We're going to do our best. How long's the touchdown zone on this puppy? New Zealand. I keep saying Air New Zealand. New Zealand 357. Fly heading. I don't want to get too close. It'll auto sequence. Fly heading 295. Maintain 250 knots. Actually, let's maintain 280. Let's speed it up. 280 knots. We're going out to Ibabu. They changed the flight model, though. You're right, Adam. Float her out. I'm going to float her out. I'm going to float it out. We're going to do our best. Less than 200 feet per minute, but no less than VREF minus 10. Can't be more than 200 if you never land. The numbers terrain on Indy go around flaps. That is the peaks mode that has been installed now on Fenix V2. So peaks mode will tell you the highest and lowest terrain depicted on your displayed ND range. So with the terrain on ND push button selected, you could see here at 40-mile range, the highest peak is 7,000 feet. Now the lowest peak, well, it just changed, 74 to 3,100. Now if I were to zoom this in, this number will change, right? Because remember, it is based on your ND range. So this is now 6,000 at the highest, 2,900 at the lowest. And you can kind of see how the shading changes. So right here, 6,000 is right about there. And then 2,900 will be the lowest or the least dense green. So it's going to be somewhere along one of these marks here in the valley. But that's what that is. That's terrain on, that's the peaks mode installed on terrain mode, which is a fantastic situational awareness feature that the Airbus gives us. Hey, Team Vodka, they never said it has to be legal. Any builds never said it has to be legal. So maybe we float her out a little bit past the touchdown zone, you know what I'm saying? Look at these views, though, out here. How do you get the update? Just, it's out via the app you can update, or you can re-download the installer from the website. It's only 5,800 feet long. That's child's play. 5,800 feet. We don't even have a special procedure for that. Below 5,000, then I would have, then I would start to raise an eyebrow. 6,000 foot runway? Pfft, it's not short. You guys are crazy. You can land a 747 at 5,800 feet. Start the float way before the threshold. Now, I may, full disclosure, part of my professional pilot briefing, we may come in a little bit low on the pappies so we can get a nice butter. Heads up, Captain, just landed and the sensitivity has increased. Oh boy. So I haven't, to be fair, I've only done one landing, and I wasn't even doing a landing to see how the airplane felt. I just wanted to put it on the ground so I could end the flight and start the stream. So I haven't really done a full landing. I feel like these mountains are getting awfully tall around here. I guess not. I wouldn't be too enthusiastic about flying around here at 10,000 feet, that's for sure. We did watch a 350 take off from Napier. That is true, Stephen. That is true. How's our fuel looking, by the way? This is kind of a long go-around. 6.5. There's Ibabu. Make it 340 on the heading. Make it 345. That window view changed on me. Oh, there's a realism view for you. What display options are we supposed to use with Fenix? FooBar. So the display options that, as you remembered, have been removed. There are only two options now. CPU rendering
Make sure
which is
not
slower
going too
and
low
displacing.
when you're gonna hit the dirt like me with the 350.
All right, don't go lower. I won't hit the dirt. Ali Sammy, thanks for the $2 bank angle check. And that is correct. That 350 that landed in Napier yesterday, he did hit the dirt on the way in. That was a dirt approach. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, Ali. We're coming around. We're coming around. This is a long go around. Oh, looks like we got the Latter-day Saints hitting us up on the CPDLC. 010. We're almost ready to re-intercept. Almost ready to re-intercept. Giuliandi Ramondi, appreciate the 79,000 IDRs. I'm not even going to guess what that is. I appreciate it. Arnav Zulu 05 via Ababu is the most exciting in my opinion. Hopefully you can pronounce my full name correctly. Giuliandi Ramadani. Giuliandi Ramadani. Indonesian rupees. Indonesian rupees. Thank you for the 79,000 Indonesian rupees, Giuliandi. Appreciate it. Thanks for that super chat. Well, if you're waiting for the 05 Zulu approach, you are in the right place, my friend. If we have a runway overrun, can you give away 2 copies? Thank you, Giuliani. I appreciate that. All right. Here we go. We're going to parallel 035. And then we're going to slow to 250, proceed direct to Babu for the RNAV Zulu 05. Let's go ahead and start dialing her back to 250k knots. Let's see if there's any speed restrictions on this approach. Ibabu, 10,000, no speed restrictions. But same as before, we'll configure a little bit early, maybe a flaps 3, 160. Touchdown zone elevation for runway 05. 1160, same as before. Round it up, call it 1200, add 2,000. 3,200 feet is when we really want to configure at the latest. Missed approach, here we go. Climb at VGA to 4,000, accelerated to 145 minute flaps. Do not exceed 145 until leap to and or above 6,000. So our go around is 6,000 feet. Should we completely bop this up? Thrust reduction and go around 6,000. 6 and 6 is set. That's what I should have done for the previous approach. All right. Engine out. I don't know what it is on this one. We'll just leave it. If we have an engine out, then we got a lot more issues. All right. Slowing up to 210 knots so I can make this turn a little bit easier. Let's come right. Start the turn right over these peaks. The tablet did get updated. Yeah, they removed the loading screen, so it happens a little bit. It's a little bit snappier. In the turn, let's set her up. Direct, Ibabu, insert. Speed out nav, VFE minus 10, flaps 1. Slats are coming out. You finally nailed it this time, correct pronunciation. Thank you, Giuliani. Glad I got it. All right, we're 210, we're turning towards Ibabu. We're selected speed, let's activate. We already did, activated and confirmed. Lights are on. Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 357. We're about 7 miles from my Babu, setting up for the RNAV 05 approach. Queenstown. Sick burn on PMDG by getting V2 on the tablet out before they even get one out at all. Yeah. One thing to know about PMDG is don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. That is for sure. All right, we're in the turn. Things are looking good. As soon as we hit that first fix there, then we will start slowing up. So let's go ahead and arm the approach. We are final app nav. Things are looking up. Recording is ready, so the recorder is ready to go. We're going to record this one. EgyptWiz is back on. We're going to see this. We're going to see what happens if we leave this one on. I should do a video, and we'll get into this on our pre-check ride streams, which will be coming up here towards the end of the month. We'll get into the EgyptWiz, the terrain clearance floor. I'll show you some pictorials of like what the enhanced portion does. I know we've talked about it, but there's actually kind of there's some neat photos that I can show y'all about what it's actually looking for like I said, the TCF or train clearance floor coming into an airport in the database. It could be something as simple as maybe the database has a little bit of a glitch over there on that approach. That's why it triggered it, because for each airport, it's modified so you stay within the parameters, and then if you go out, that's when it triggers the Egypt whiz, and then of course the rad outs are constantly scanning your radar altimeters for the actual JIP whiz. All right, we're on the approach. God, this is beautiful out here. Man. We'll fly it like this, and then we will we'll do a replay at sunset, dude. All right, go on altitude. 10,000 is still set. Where is our? We don't have a blue descent arrow. It's white. We'll see what happens here. We'll make sure it starts down. I'm a little bit... We'll take a look at us here. Blue, it should be blue, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to watch this like a hog. If we don't capture here, we'll scramble in like 8,000 and then just start our descent. We'll force it down. All right. Nope, they did capture. Final lap. Okay, good. Final lap. We're on the descent. I'm immediately going to start bringing it back to 180. It's capturing. Let's go ahead and start slowing her up. A little speed brake, help it out. No need for the FCU altitude on that one, Bill Barrett. I don't know if that should have been blue. For some reason, I think that should have been blue like it was on the first one. Because final's blue. Via Phoenix -10, we'll do flaps 2. Flaps 2, 180 for the approach, we're looking good. .530, I've seen that exact same video, it's phenomenal. Micro stutters when in the flight deck, I'm getting them now. Shaq, fingers crossed, I have not experienced any of that yet. Well, I do have a company massagee, it's probably, here. Yep. They found us. Found us again. Eagle One, thank you for the $10 super chat. It says happy landings. Eagle One, that's very kind of you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hopefully we grease this one up, huh? We gotta grease this one for the people. Man checking his text on final in a valley. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. Now the Phoenix has always been good on RF and CF turns, but I think it's even better now. Like it's just locked in here. Let's go ahead and bring up the cam. We're ready to go. I prefer Santos Dumont, Brazil. That one is phenomenal, Daniel. It is. It definitely is. But this, I've never seen this in real life. I've never done this approach in the sim, in real life, nothing. And it is very impressive. Very impressive. What gets me is the amount of peaks, you know, like, yeah, I've flown into mountain valleys where there's one mountain on either side and you have a valley that you're flying through. But this is like, there's just peaks everywhere. Almost a little bit like where were we flying in South America? Kind of the same deal. Just mountains everywhere. All right, same as before. We're going to go 160 on the speed, flap 3.
Qantas 495, New Zealand 623. We're flying 145.
3.2. So it's
so first basic.
So at 3.2, it's a little bit steeper than your traditional 3, so we're going to configure a little bit early. There's flaps 3, 160. That should really help coming out of the final. Little flap wiggle. I love that. That flap wiggle is 10 for 10. Oh, tactical flip-flop check. Hang on. All right.
Queenstown traffic, Qantas 495 indicated 135.
So all we need is gear down and flaps full. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Lugano vibes for sure, Shaq, for sure. Pero, same deal. I need my sunglasses. I literally need to put some sunglasses on. Like, this is what we have to. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is real life. This is straight up real life. So you see how we're hovering here above 160? This is when I'm like, all right, when did we say we're going to do gear? 3,200 feet is 2,000 above. Already flaps 3. Being a 320, we could still use our speed brakes right now, but I'm okay with it. We'll let it ride a little bit. A little more optimum here on the energy. Not burning too much fuel. Move it more towards the sunrise. Well, I don't want to. We'll do it on the replay. I'm going to let it roll out right now. Well, on the replay, we'll. Oh, speaking of, recording's on. Thank you. These views are. I don't even want to speak. No need to speak. Turn up the sounds even more. All right, under 200 feet per minute, you're right. All right, so we're going to bring it in a little bit low because somebody needs to get a copy of the Uni builds Queenstown. Winds are shifty a little bit. Now we got a little bit of a tailwind. Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 357 at a 5.2 on about a 12-mile final now for runway 05 on the RNF, Queenstown. I mean, it's literally blinding. It's literally blinding without the sunshade. What a time to be a simmer. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Manage speed. Gear down. Speed brake on. There's the thunk. That's the up lock release. We good. I think it was we might have almost broke the internet. I just F5 refresh. I know that was very scary. I don't know what that was. We're good. Internet hiccup.
2,500.
That was scary. I can't see the runway yet. The sun is literally blinding me. We're gonna ride her down. We're gonna ride her on down below 3,000. Shadowing the controls. Recording is on. Sunglass mod for Microsoft, indeed. I was going to go auto brakes. I tell you what, let's go auto brakes medium. What the hell? Just so I can, in case I floated out here. Right, I mean, look at the auto thrust. Auto thrust has been bang on, so they've definitely really worked on that. That is really nice. It's doing a really good job. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna try to leave it like this. This is a real world problem that can arise, landing into the sun. So we're gonna deal with it here. I can just starting to make out the where the airport is. We'll let it ride. There we go. As soon as we get out of that reflection off the water, we should be just fine.
100 above.
Runway in sight. Yes, Adam, you
Minimum.
can. Landing. I'm gonna turn the first officer's flight director off. I'm gonna hand fly this in here too. We're gonna let it keep coming down though.
1,000.
Stable, clear to land. This is the tricky turn right here. Let's see how it does. It's doing a great job. Look at that auto thrust. N1 pitch power is pretty much spot on, right about 52%, 140 knots. All right, I have control. Autopilot's off.
Some traffic.
Give me the bird.
Landing.
Landing. 3-knot tailwind. We're going to ride her in a little bit low. We got to get someone to Queenstown. We got to get someone to
500.
Queenstown scenery here. Stable target sync 8. Correcting. A little bit high there. Want to come in at 3 reds.
Traffic, New Zealand 623, 9 DME for RNAV 05.
2-knot tailwind. Ooh, a little bit shifty there.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 5.
New Zealand 623, minimum approach speed.
I wanted to get a scenery so bad for someone. I don't know. That was an aggressive float. Did we do it? Did we do it? Manual brakes. We got a little wonky, but I've really stretched it out. It may not be the most realistic landing, but we had to get a minus 200. We did it. I think we were legal too. It was tight. Do we have to back taxi or can we take that taxiway there? Definitely not. So we got a back taxi. Whoo! All right.
Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 705, resisting final approach speed 5 miles.
All right, we got to go ahead and get off this runway before everyone has to go around. Won't be telling the chief pilot, hey, upon further review, I still think we were legal, any builds. I still think we were legal. I'm going to stop the replay. I'm going to save it.
I hate to say it, but I think incoming traffic is going to have to go around.
And Queenstown traffic news on 357. We're back taxiing to clear runway 23.
New Zealand 623 is a 5-mile final 405.
We'll get off in time. All right, let's go. We're on a runway. We can accelerate. We can do more than 30 knots on the taxi. Back taxiing. Trust in the Union. I'm going to save this replay right now just in case we have a power outage. So replay is saved. Queenstown landing. All right, I learned that on the long time ago. We're going to save the replays while we can. So we have the replay locked in. We're going to see if that was legal. It wasn't pretty. I got a little wonky, but I desperately wanted to get that less than 200.
3 miles out to expedite immediately to vacate the runway. Again, 623 Queenstown traffic. We're currently very, very short final.
We got you inside. You'll be fine. We're making the turn here. Keep on coming.
Okay, we're settling for an approach.
In America land, you can come all the way down to like a quarter-mile final.
And Queenstown traffic, this is New Zealand 705 circling, and we'll try again for RNP runway 23, we'll do our 5-mile partner.
And Queenstown traffic, New Zealand 3%, we're clear, 23. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and stop here.
623 landing 05, thank you very much.
We'll stop here, we'll watch this landing. After review on the field, the ruling stands. Legal landing. I think it was legal. It was very close. It was very close, but I'm telling you, I think it was that last touchdown mark. Oh, he's 100% legal. Ooh, did he float her up? No, it was definitely down. Definitely legal. All right, let's find ourselves a gate and park. So there is shutdown sound. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and start the APU. Let's just go ahead and clean this up, and we'll listen to the whole shutdown. Because we can do a state saving for the replay. It's worse than Canada. They give you landing clearance when you're on short final, yeah, or over the threshold. What's it like? South America, Mexico especially. They give you the conditional clearances. So it's like after the landing traffic, you're clear to take off. It's like really, so I can go whenever. All right, we gotta find ourselves.
Queenstown traffic 1.95 Mark final for 05.
Qantas, New Zealand 623, we're expediting, vacating, current backtracking. I'll let you know when we're out.
I'm not quite sure. We gotta do one of these turn things again, huh?
Alright, you go.
We'll just turn it around here, and I think this is for a smaller aircraft. This is definitely for a smaller aircraft, but we'll make it work.
And New Zealand 623 vacated.
Look at that. Burp. Perfectly, right on the perfectly textured taxiway. Gotta love it. All right, let's go ahead and shut this down. APU is avail. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's listen to these shutdown sounds.
495, 3 miles final landing 05.
Oh, yeah. Performance test without VATSIM? Oh, yeah. As soon as I disconnect, it'll be like 10 more frames. But I still haven't noticed really any frame issues. Like, this is still very smooth. All right. We made it. We have made it. Oh, brake temp. You want me to check? Oh, and there's someone on final, too. Let's take a look at the brake temp. We'll actually start the deboarding process.
This parking is too small for the boarding requested.
Wheels are 130. Well, it's also... I don't think they... did they work on the brake temps? Because I don't think I smoked them on this one, and it's also 2 degrees outside. But if brake temperature simulation has been adjusted, we will definitely mess with that later on today, this afternoon. Final thoughts on V2, 10 for 10, man. I'm loving it. Like, there is nothing about this update that I've experienced that is worse than V1. There's no reason to not be updating to V2. So it's just a better, cleaner, more performance. So brakes are in the next release. Okay. Yeah, I know the brake temperature simulation is lacking in the Fenix for sure. I wouldn't say lacking, just like it doesn't happen fast enough, I guess, you know? And Amir already addressed that. They said that they're going to bring it out in the next release, so they haven't reworked that yet, so
And Queenstown traffic.
That'll be something. That'll be something to test on the next one.
On runway 23.
All right, here we go. Ooh. Ooh. That was a firm. That was a firm one. You got it. All right. Fenix is the new PMDG. 10 for 10 community sport and A+. Couldn't have said it better. Go ahead, Sim. Couldn't have said it better. I wouldn't say new PMDG. They are Fenix. Fenix is Fenix, and they are a fantastic. Oh, look at that little bus there. Fantastic dev. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's coming on. Let's shut the APU off. Let's see what that sounds like. No worries, Aviator Nick. Welcome to the stream.
Traffic 1.495 exiting pushback 05.
Love the spool down. APU spool down is awesome. Still have the beacon on. That's on me, but awesome stuff. All right. While we're here, there's one more guy on final, isn't he? Where's he at? Let's take a quick look at this airport. This literally might become one of my new favorites to fly in and out of. We're going to come back here in a couple other airplanes. Look at this.
Queenstown traffic.
Like, I want to come here in real life. Look at this. Like, so you can walk out. You walk out to your airplanes here. How cool is that? It's like Innsbruck, right? Where you walk out to the airplanes. Oh, look at that. Look at that Air New Zealand sitting over there. I love that view with all the equipment around it. Right there. I love that. Absolutely love that. Ooh, we have inside here too. Look at this. Virgin Australia. What do we have here? A little bar. Can you see out the windows? Oh my gosh, you can. Look, so you just be chilling right here, waiting for your airplane to show up.
Queenstown traffic 1.495.
Queenstown was one of our first Microsoft products. Glad to see it's holding up so well. Wow. Look at this. This is the this is where if you got to work at an airport bar, this is the one I want to work at. Like, I want to come here on the summers and just work this. This is your view. This is epic. This is awesome.
All right,
I love
thank
it.
you.
All right, let's get into our replay because I want to see if we were legal. I don't see anybody on short final. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's reset the drone cam. Let's disconnect from VATSIM. We'll get 400 FPS back. Oh, yeah. And now we need to do this. We're going to restart the Kutal script.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
We're going to do that. Boom. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to go Phoenix, dismiss, panel states. We're going to go ready state. We're going to activate it. So it's going to do its thing. Kyle Ferris, I would love to buy a summer house somewhere, man. I would absolutely love to, but I just... Time and money, man. Time and money. Let alone finding one. Like, to go find a summer house if you live abroad. The amount of travel you got to do just to find a place and then to close the deal. Alright, everything is spooling up. I'm really curious to see if we were legal. It's going to be close, but my gut instinct, we were off center line, but I was dying. I was dying for that butter, which is what I never really do that on this channel, but for this particular landing, I had to. So I know we were a little right of center line. Why can't I close those cargo doors? There we go. All right, we're closed up. Flaps are coming down. Lights are coming on, so we don't have to listen to tick, 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 tick. Let's watch this. Ready? Get your bets in now. Get your bets in now. How do I get this off there? Go away. All right. We will have a long replay. I will leave that one for the end so everybody can enjoy a nice long replay. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, though. Let's get all the way down to the approach. We're going to see that in slow-mo, don't worry. Let's just get to the approach here. Not legal, barely legal. We'll watch this one from the window view. I fully am not denying the fact that we floated and stretched hard for a butter. I am not denying that. But in my professional opinion, man, I am going to have foot and mouth if this is not legal. When I heard the thump of the wheels and I saw that last touchdown zone marker go by, in my professional opinion, I feel like we were still on the paint. I'll watch one more from this view, and then we will do the external view. Pay attention to the sound of the wheels hitting. There's definitely a little burble effect when you came right over the numbers here. Like I got all wonky right here for a second.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Right here, I was like, okay, I gotta stretch it. Screw the center line. Oh, we're 100% legal. We were way off center line, but we'll just call that a 250-hour pilot landing as far as center line control. I guarantee you, I will personally buy an additional scenery if this is not legal. I will personally purchase a second giveaway scenery if this is not legal. 100% legal. Off center line and ugly, yes. Legal, yes. Wait for it. Boom. Look at that. God. Okay, don't look at that side. We're way off center line. Look at that. I told you. We're not even barely legal. We are 100% legal. Now, I corrected center line. Well, I tried to. But we were so high AOA, we almost hit the tail, too. Can't judge me on the beauty of that landing. But that was legal. That was not a tail strike. It was close, but it was not a tail strike.
100.
Let's see. No tail strike. Get out of here. Close, but it's not. As high up a pitch as that was not a tail strike. The chief pilot doesn't want a word. That is, hey, that landing. I'll pull a play out of Aaron Rodgers' playbook right here when he said that his down years are MVP years for some candidates. This down landing for me is some A+ landings for others. So let's let that one sink in, huh? Gustavo says it should have screamed pitch with that pitch. That's at what? It would have been at 10 degrees, right? I don't think we were full 10, were we? Let's watch the full 10, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a break. We'll do an evening stream tonight. It'll be shorter. We're gonna put the airplane to the absolute limits though, with some crosswinds, get some more inertia. This was my first real landing too, anyway. So, report to Chief's pilot's office. Get out of here, Andre. Yes, flight recorder from the Flight Sim TO. 321, no, 100% tail strike if that was a 321. Let's see what my pitch was here. Turn the flight director
100.
off. Let's do a pitch check.
50. 40.
Fubar, give me about another hour or
20,
two. Hour and a half. I'll set it up here as soon as I close
5.
this. 10 degrees would be pitch. Oh, close. Gustavo, look it up in the book. When does pitch go off? Is it 9.7? When does the pitch command go off? I think it might have. I think you're right. I think it might have gone off. It might have gone off in the real airplane. That was close. Is it 10? I don't know. Hey. Either way, none of y'all can say nothing because that was 100% legal. I've seen real-world pilots land that far off the center line. Have I ever landed that far off center line? Not on an Airbus. In flight training, for sure. Beach 99, one time I landed that far off the center line. But it is what it is. We are going to end it here on this one. I'll leave you guys one full replay. So far, the Fenix V2, our baseline test has been successful. Now we're going to attempt to absolutely destroy the Fenix V2 Block 1 on the next stream. So I hope I'll see you all for that one. Give me about, like I said, give me at least an hour to get some food, recoup, We probably won't be in New Zealand. I'll just go to a familiar airport where we can do our base testing. So, oh yeah, I'll set this back to sunrise. I'll let you guys enjoy the replay. Until the next one, stay safe, stay healthy, don't hit the tail. I'm V1. See ya!